smooth sailing, then they start gating, they start messing with the other safe lane. So it's like it's a damage control situation, and I think Vici has shown that they're able to do it pretty well. So is BB. So I mean, I don't know if it will actually hurt one team or the other, but they definitely need to have that angle like covered.
Yeah, so many of the offlaners right now, they like to end up cutting creep waves or not interact with the carry past like level 3 to 5 if they're getting off to a good start. And that can be the difference between being like 6th in the net worth. And we've even seen like Bo3 on his Darkseer yesterday. He was #1 net worth for a large portion of the mid game. And he's the one getting massive blink vacuums on the Darkseer and turning team fights for his team. So you mentioned like the performance in the laning stage. I think it might be the most polarizing that I've in recent memory for me from the offlane, because we are talking the difference between being #1 net worth and kind of having minimal impact. So I'm definitely looking at Miro and Bo3 for this series, but also I feel like that balance between the carries and the offlane has been shifting back and forth, because we're now seeing a lot of the Drows and the SFs taken out early. And I think the problem is more posed to the carries of, okay, how do we actually make sure the offlane does not get that game? Because that was easier to do much earlier on in the tournament.
Yeah, one of the games we saw from Vici Gaming yesterday, and they also commented on it, that they took a page out of Yannick's book. They have looked very strong, and we saw them draft incredibly strong lanes already. I mean, this was the one where they also had the Slark, so that was like the X factor there at the end. But overall, I mean, you had Coddle Beastmaster and Dream Protector Lone Druid. First of all, don't think they're going to get their hands on that. Again, that was definitely a little bit of an oversight from their opponents potentially. But overall, they have been focusing on those strong lanes, so potentially in the laning stage, it will be even.
I mean, hopefully it will be. I'd still give BB team an edge just because of how good they are at executing that, you know, part of the game. To me, the biggest difference would still remain in Vici Gaming's ability to strategize, because I think yesterday one of the big reasons for why they dominated Falcons the way they did is because they came up with like very solid drafts and synergetic drafts, like strategies essentially. And I don't think Falcon answered it properly, and I don't know if BB team is used to answer that either, so we'll have to see.
We will have to see, and we are gonna see very soon, because the semifinals are upon us. We have Vici Gaming and BB waiting to take the stage. So to get this match started, we're heading over to the stage.
Slacks, here.
Yeah, what?
Do we know who's playing the finals?
No, bro, finals are tomorrow.
Do we know who's playing? Okay, but when are semis then?
Yeah, that's today.
Today, like when today?
I don't know, today, dude.
Wait a second. This is Saturday?
Yeah.
All right, are we live? Hey,
We're not live, bro.
Wally? Oh my God, Slacks? I think we're live.
We're not live, dude.
Slacks, the lights are on. I can hear my echo. There's people in here.
Okay, yeah, we're live. Oh, shit, we're live. All right. You okay, sorry, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to semifinal day. How we doing out there in the audience? You guys live? Hello? Hey, there we are.
They need a little bit of wake up just like we did.
Okay, whew. All right, I was sleeping too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our day here at EWC. We have got some good Dota today. Before we get into today, though, let's talk a little bit about yesterday, big dog.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say this, Enigma Galaxy fans, but the dream is dead. Rest in peace. That just goes on. But you know what? That just means we continue with our games. We're in semifinals today. Quarters are done. You got to be happy with your performance so far. There's been a lot of dreams that have been crushed here alongside with the K's, and you've been very happy with that, Slacks.
Absolutely. I love watching dreams crushed from the greatest teams out there, like Falcons to Enigma, who we all wanted to... Shout out to Carrie and Boker, my friends, as we go in to our day here today. This is going to be pretty exciting. Many dreamers still here in the stage.
Not many will be left after this, if you're asking me, because tomorrow there will only be 2 teams left for that grand final in our trophy, which we'll be talking about to no end as we get closer to it. However, let's introduce our first 2 teams in our semifinals. First up, it's BB Team!
BB
already last year, the Esports World Cup 2025, they hit the quarterfinals. Yes, they were doing great, but the dream ended just there. This time around, it's straight on to the semis. Even though they had to fight through survival, they're doing better than ever. They got dreams up the wazoo, but they're here to crush whoever faces them in these games. You've seen them focused, you've seen them ready to go, and so far, they have crushed LGD. They've crushed Nigma Galaxy, and today they have one more quote-unquote underdog that they're ready to put 6 feet under.
No, it's not going to happen, my friends. We have seen many underdogs in this tournament go down with a whimper. But this team is different. I don't even recognize this team. This team looks nothing like they have before, and now they're coming to prove that Chinese Dota is alive again. Let's bring out Vici Gaming! Here they come. These men have fought through the hardest of teams and made them look like garbage. Today, we will see if they are ready to put the next giant juggernaut into the trash, or if they'll be escorting themselves out to the airport. I think it could go either way. I am expecting at least an incredible series. No 2-0 in this one.
Absolutely. I really wanted to go to a game 3 in this because there's just a lot of hope. BB team on the rise, back at it again in the season 2026. You got Chinese Dota on the other side that yesterday we've been hyping up. They hyped it up. They're the defenders of all this here, and I cannot wait to see it. So please, Vici Gaming, please, BB team, you may place your keys and get set and ready for your game. And I'm very much ready for this one because I'm sure there will be a lot of disrespect. None at all. They'll shake hands. They'll be happy with it.
No, there's no disrespect here. Look at the teamwork, just putting the key down. Here we go. Nice handshake. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get the carnage started with this fantastic game. Underdogs versus the guys who put them down. Let's see how it goes and throw it back to our panel.
I think BB team is a very strong early game team. Execute their drafts very good. I think we need to play map and play team fights to win them.
What is happening? What? No one sees them? There's going to be a chrono onto 3. XM's going to follow up. Takedown 2 right away. Boom. Nowhere to go. You cannot hide. Chrysalis is gone.
XM's just going to focus on Amar instead with that BK.
Nice overgrowth.
And the overgrowth on the 3 heroes with the Illuminate. They're going to kill the Gyrocopter right in their own base.
Our route was easy in a way. I was actually surprised that Vici Gaming won against 1W, and then they won against Falcons. They're getting better and better with each series, so it's going to be a fun game for sure. I think we're kind of confident, yes, coming into this series against Vici Gaming.
Wait, he gets off a couple of spells. He commits it, went for the kill on Night Stalker for Night Stalker. Heals up, all dead with the grip, the control. Rubik tried to do what he could, but Karatik's fighting through it all.
I mean, we're just gonna treat Vici Gaming as any other team. I don't think there's gonna be any special preparation.
We haven't been, get championship for a very long time. Of course, we want to do that as a Chinese team.
These two teams only faced each other once this entire season. Was just a couple of months ago. It went the distance. It went to that game 3, and at the end of it all, it was BB team that was victorious on that one, but it was close. Final word has not been said yet about either of these teams. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table in the draft that is coming your way very soon. Here with BSJ and Seb, we're going to try to give a little bit of insight on what we think might be coming. And I think I want to start with the mid lane, and I think I might want to start with Alina. Anybody want to have some insight on that?
I mean, both teams are hoping to get it, I would say. I think I'd be really surprised if it gets through the pool. And if it does, you better be sure that there is like an answer absolutely ready, and we'll see maybe like the hardest stakes on how to beat Lina. But essentially, if Lina gets through, it's going to be picked on 100%. We have Shiro and obviously XM, 2 Lina specialists, and on the other side there's GPK. I'm sure Karatic can take a page out of Watson's book, and he's also comfortable on it. So yeah, no doubt this hero will be top priority.
Yeah, I think it's funny that we're even talking about Lina because day one, I don't think this hero was factored into drafts at all. I think as the meta develops, you have the ranged carries that like the SFs and the Drows that are the creme de la creme. They get picked every single game or banned every single game. And teams are like, so we see initially a Lina come out. I believe it was Yandex that ran it first, and we thought it was going to be mid, and then they flexed it to carry for Watson. And then Shiro does the same thing in his first playoff game, or first playoff series. And then people are like, wait, it's working as a carry. Why not we just also pick it as a mid? And then here we are talking about it being a first-round ban. I think the teams that are able to see those heroes played by one other team recognize the strength that it offered in the game and then apply it themselves. There's a reason that both these guys have made it here. Lina does end up getting banned, and because Lina has graduated to that number one ban or round one ban slot, suddenly we're seeing a lot more lone druids and such.
I mean, I might be biased, but I have to say that, you know, when I put my mind to these drafts and how the meta is developing, I am 100% in agreement with every Vici Gaming read so far, and I think this opener to me looks like it looks really good for them. I'll have to. Personally, I think they won with Laundry yesterday, but I don't think Laundry did anything. I mean, in a sense, I'm sure he would have carried the game, but the game was like pretty much done by the time he came online. Like Slark was dominating, Beast Cuddle, they came. Like Amar talked about the game yesterday, and he said, I don't think this Laundry or this Slark even did anything. We had a Beast Cuddle problem, and Laundry is a really slow hero. Like this hero starts playing when he gets Mjolnir Ags, and this is the Beast answer. Like their take is basically, by the time you have these items, there's going to be a level 2 Dom Beast that would have taken all towers, taken Roche, taken Tormentor, and you're going to be playing from, you know, 10k lead behind with a first pick hero that will also be countered by our carry. So I very much love this approach. I personally think that this Laundered hero is absolutely overrated and that it should not... I'm gonna, you know, take the gamble here that it's just gonna go away from being first faced in the next games and maybe even in the finals. So we'll have to see how they make it work and how they execute it. I think the Cuddle, okay, the Cuddle got banned, so they're not gonna get their hands on Beast Cuddle. Obviously, the laning phase will be extremely tough for the Beastmaster, so let's see how Vici Gaming is able to maybe damage control this a little bit.
Yeah, I think Beastmaster is a very interesting hero conceptually because I agree with everything you said, by the way, and the hero's win rate is 42% for the event. And I think that's because the hero is so polarizing in terms of, does it get shut down in lane and just have virtually no impact? Or does it literally consume the entire map, taking every single objective, as you mentioned? And the teams that have utilized it to the best, I think there's a reason why it's such a scary pick, despite its win rate not representing that. I don't think every hero's win rate is indicative of its strength in the meta itself. And we've been seeing Helm Dom on every offlaner pretty much, maybe other than like Axe. We've been seeing it on Darkseer, we've been seeing it on Centaur. So it only makes sense that the Lycans, the Beastmasters will come into play later on in this meta. It's easy to say that in hindsight 2020, but Wyvern, a common I'd say counterpick to both of these heroes, the Lone Druid for the percentage HP on the bear, but also the Beastmaster because you can actually kill him with his own summons.
It's like I like the Wyvern pick. I think we've seen it work pretty well against Lone Druid, even though it's not as good as what it used to be. And I mean, it's very good in the early game. Stops being, you know, it's a little bit worse once Lone Druid plays with Ags, obviously, because there's no such thing as killing the main. But still, you're gonna love the Cold Embrace in a game like that. I also want to mention the Vici Gaming bans. I think they're very much on point. Like Centaur is finally getting the respect the hero deserves, in my opinion. I'm surprised we haven't seen it first phase banned by teams. Everyone is dominating. Like all the most successful teams are just crushing games with it. Like you think of DM, you think of Miero. Like they just pick this hero early and it's always doing its job. It has incredible early game, great late game. Lina's out, as we mentioned. Kez, Kiritouch, he even said in an interview, it's my absolute signature hero. So whenever I play it, I feel like I'm just going to win the game. So very well-targeted bans from both teams, in my opinion. So they're kind of forcing each other's into like the second plan, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I disagree with everything you said. Like the read from Vici has consistently impressed me during these playoff stages. They made such a significant adjustment going from the group stage. I just can't overstate that enough. I'll happily be a broken record on that one. You know, for me, Wyvern is... I feel like she's kind of in the category of Witch Doctor, where she's meant to give you a little bit of sustain in lane. She's meant to provide you with some sort of damage output that helps you take down these really high HP heroes. And then on the other side of things, she's a little bit less aggressive, more on the counter initiation side of those things. But then people have been diving deep into the ranged carry hero pool. Clinks is a hero we've seen a few times throughout the course of this tournament. And what I like about this specific pick here is he's one of the few ranged heroes in the entire pool that have like a attack speed steroid that would help him kill the Tombstone. With Undying, you usually want to play like a non-heads-up game, right? You don't want to just fight into them head like straight on. You want to split them up. You want to flank them and burst them down. And Klinks is perfect for doing that because he's going to save the guy in front.
Yeah, and we've seen these Undyings, right? Like they become a problem, like very early in the game. It's like they're just standing there, and they have, you know, they have Blink Dagger, they have the Shard, they have BKB at times. So I really like this like overwhelming amount of physical damage approach, where it's like you just kill this hero. Like you don't let him basically break your formation by just being there and running at you, spamming DKs. I think you just have to burst the hero down. It's not that tanky, like it's deceptively tanky. Undying has a really bad strength gain actually, and even when they're like high level 15 or something, running around with Blink BKB, they're under 2k HP, which is very little for strength heroes. So good approach in my opinion. I like the Klinks pickup. They go for the GPK puck. It's a very strong pick. It didn't, like, funny enough, it's kind of slow, right? We criticized Puck for being a slow hero and saying that, yep, we saw Lorenov yesterday, one of the best Puck players also out there, and he was like struggling to really enter the game, and by the time he did, the game was kind of over. I'm just a little bit worried for BB team because they have exceptionally good lanes, that is true, but they have Longed Puck, which I think are two of the slowest cores in the meta right now. And maybe that plays a little bit in Vici Gaming's plan of like delaying the game. You know, we heard their interview, like they're saying that they know that the early game might be a little bit tough for them, but if they weather the storm, they feel confident.
Now, you were talking about preparation coming to this series. I agree with everything you said about the slowness of their lineup. I think XM is historically one of the most counter-picky mids players that we've seen, and we saw his Slark versus the Ember Spirit yesterday. I know I wasn't in the game, but I respectfully disagree with Amar on the Slark's impact. I think he literally removed Malrine from the game, and I think a lot of times the mid laner rotating on the Beast is the one that's meant to slow him down. So I think the pick for XM is not only does it take out the puck, but does it enable the Beastmaster, who's already in a bit of a tough lane against the Lone Druid.
Very tough lane.
I guess I was underselling that one. But what I was looking through is that Vici Gaming haven't been in a draft yet where XM has been against puck with the counter pick. So Sniper is always the historic one, which they did take out in the first round, but I'm wondering, have they been cooking something? Are we going to see the Slardar? I'm almost surprised it's not banned. Maybe that's a bit of disrespect to XM as a player, because they used it against Puck yesterday on BB.
Yeah, and it actually is very good against the other heroes. Like, I really like the Slardar idea. It's amazing versus Lone Druid. It makes actually the bear like killable at any point. Like, it now turns any kind of duo of hero as like bear killers, which can be a problem. Same, you know, I mentioned how you need to be able to kill this Undying before he gets like armor items, and even then I think Slardar will kill heroes through armor items. Like, it's just an overwhelming amount of damage, and synergizes greatly with their heroes. So we'll have to see. A hero that I'm wondering could come is Necro. I don't know if it's an XM hero, but we've seen Nigma utilize it against Puck, against Ember, against Earth Spirit, and they just dumpster the mid matchup. Necro is very good against Undying, very good against Lone Druid. This is a hero that could, I think, damage control the early game and help Vici Gaming kind of group around him. This would turn their lineup into like a push lineup, and especially with the help of Wyvern and Tusk, it's going to be just really hard to take him down, because they, as BSJ mentioned, they removed a lot of the counters to Puck, right? There's no, okay, they even steal the Slaughter, so that's probably why they actually let it through the pool. So good of them to, you know, have that planned out. It's not the easiest lane, I have to say, though, versus Klinks and Wyvern, but again, it's what we said. Both off-laners are just going to their fate, their destiny, which is, you know, struggle in lane, buy regen, and hope for the best.
I'm leaning even more so towards the Necro. They've only played it once on Vici this tournament. It was for Shiro, so they, you know, XM, he has proven, though, that he can just whip something out of his pocket that he hasn't played in some time and absolutely demolish with it. Slardar is not only a good block pick because it would have been good for Vici, but it's also insanely good against Klinks later on in the game with the, you know, a lot of times, even if you have Dust, Klinks is just so fast at getting away. Slardar can blink, stun you with the Crush in the Shard, which automatically reveals you and will represent the burst. This game is going to be so much about who has the vision, who initiates on who, because both teams have so much burst and so much, like, just, I'd say only need 1 or 2 items on every core before they're almost fully activated. So when I look at this pick for XM, yeah, I'm really liking Necro. I don't know what else there is that functions well in the game versus Slardar and Puck.
As you said, like, shutting down this Puck on the lane, it fits XM style, and I think it makes a lot of sense this game in particular, because honestly, like, Slardar's gonna have a slow start to the game, and Lone Druid is just slow by nature. Like, he wants to farm for at least 20 minutes. it's a really good puck game. Like, they have no stuns. Like, it's basically, you know, Tusk and Beastmaster. Like, it's very easy for GPK to play around that. He's even gonna have the save of Undying at some point. Like, this puck is just not gonna die. So if, okay, the Necro comes up, I think it's a very good answer, honestly. Like, if he executes the lane properly, as we've seen Larnov do, then the puck is gonna be shut down, and like BB might end up having 3 cores that, you know, need some time to farm. And again, we've seen what these Beastmasters do. It's like Puck is not going to be able to invade the Beast Triangle if he's shut down. And as soon as Beast hits his timing, which he'll be stacking with boars, he will sack the lane completely. They're going to pull some waves. And as soon as he gets the Helm of Doom 2, they're going to run around together and take over the game. And hopefully try to punish BB at their own game, which is like, you know, playing fast and assertive dominance in the early game.
I think both these teams have a fantastic read on the meta. I agree conceptually with virtually every pick in these drafts. And quite frankly, I don't know who's going to come out on top because both teams made slight tweaks and adjustments to their strategy while also kind of maintaining their identity of the heroes that have worked for them, like the Beastmaster, as well as the Slardar on the side of BB team. So I'm just excited because this is the point where both teams have a clear idea, clear-cut plan. I like both of them, and we're just going to have to see who triumphs.
Is Necrophos a hero that can set a little bit of a tempo from the mid lane, or is that not needed?
He's more of a tempo setter in the sense that he's like a vacuum of attention, where he puts a lot of pressure on the enemy mid and requires the supports to come there.
Exactly. Like, he's just gonna like basically apply pressure and absorb pressure, like, because they're gonna have to answer him being on GPK's hill, pushing the wave constantly, you know, fighting for the runes. Puck's gonna be starving. In that sense, he's not going to be making plays, but he's going to force BB team to look at him, which essentially is the same result.
How free are Zinq and Save in making those moves towards the mid lane to help out their mid laner if needed?
I would say they're both pretty busy with their offlaner.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, like trying to help their offlaner just stay mentally stable, because they're both going to have a really rough time on their lanes.
I do think it's important to note that earlier in the tournament, Shiro was playing a lane that was favored, and he had one mistake early where he died, and it ended up going heavily in favor of the other team and actually lost them the game. So that's just something I have to believe is on his mind a little bit. And if something like that were to happen on either side, it could absolutely blow the game wide open.
Oh yeah, this is something, yeah, exactly. Like, I think this is something that both teams can't afford. Like, you need the winning lanes to be winning, because at this point, the whole draft, as we said, it makes a lot of sense. It's very well thought through, but it's also based on theory, which is what is supposed to happen. And if the theory is just like thrown out of the window because of individual mistakes or mixed executions on lane, this is when it gets really tricky.
So for us as viewers, we want the laning stage to be even, because then the mid game can get crazy. Is that fair?
I think what we want to look out for is which lane is indicating a snowball.
Yeah.
One way or the, because there's going to be a lot of them, not just the Tusk lane, but all the other lanes are also going to snowball. And whatever lane does snowball, and let's pay attention to how does the support then rotate, how does the mid then rotate. Like, that lane's going to bleed into the others very quickly.
A lot of weight on Zinq's shoulder, I think, in his early game decisions and rotations.
We are looking at a very fun first game to open up this series. Made extra fun. It's Sunspan and Kezu.
Thank you. Vici Gaming versus BB Team best of 3 semifinals. Winner of this goes to the grand finals. Loser is not actually eliminated for once.
True.
They go into the 3rd place matchup tomorrow. Your thoughts on this general matchup between these two teams? I think BB Team overall have been more consistent, but Vici have really been rising up in the last few series.
Yeah, I would say perhaps for a lot of people, it's a bit unexpected to see Vici here. I think like the growth that they've shown and how they got here has been kind of insane. You know, knocking out 1W, knocking out Falcons as well in the prior round. I don't really know if I have a favorite, but when it comes to like a Chinese team's performance, this is the most impressed I've been since the TI finals of last year.
All right, well, they're peaking at the right time, that's for sure. As we're going to see a crush from Miero onto Y. Gets off the snowball, but he's just going to connect with Miero, and he's just outnumbered. So this should be first blood going the way of BB Team. And they'll go to save on the Hoodwink. So good start for them.
Yeah, and when you get to this stage of a tournament, giving first blood or any gold injection can make a huge difference on any of these players. I'm a little interested or like surprised perhaps that they're putting the Winter Wyvern into the offlane. Of course, you know, Arctic Burn is very, very good against the Undying and against the Lone Druid in the top lane. But it also means you don't have like a Cold Embrace in the safe lane against the Slardar and the Hoodwink combo. So we'll have to see how the lanes go.
How's this matchup? XM playing the Necrophos against GPK on his Puck, one of his best heroes.
Yep.
Maybe his 2nd best after Storm, I would say.
I would maybe even put like his Puck as #1. I think this is like his absolute signature. This is a Necro favorite matchup, and it can go
from bad to worse really quick. As Necro's a type of hero, if he gets an early advantage, he can sit on your hill, permanently hit you, out-regen you, because he just wins with the sustaining overall.
And looking at the rest of BB Team's lineup, Lone Druid, which has been a hit or a miss in basically every game until yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, it's been mostly a miss until yesterday, where we saw the Bear kind of appear in the mid-game, while the rest of the cores actually carried him.
Yeah, they were kind of winning without him, like, in a way, but...
Is that the requirement for this hero right now?
I don't think your team needs to win. If they can stabilize and damage control, I think you're happy. If your team is winning, they're like giga overperforming.
Yeah. We'll see how he ends up shaping the Lone Druid this game, as we see the Undying on Kataomi. We talked about the Hoodwink already, and then the offlane Miero on Slardar, which in combination with Lone Druid in the mid to late game, going to be pretty fearsome combo overall.
No, it's very, very good. And they talked about it on the panel too, right? Puck, overall, while it is one of GPK's best heroes, the hero hasn't looked phenomenal. You know, it's one of the few tournaments where the win rate isn't that good. You're starting to run into damage problems. But they have a lot of damage amplification, right? You have the Boomerang later, you have the Flesh Golem damage amp, and also the Corrosive Haze. And you can see that, at least for now, GPK is doing a very good job at this early game.
Yeah, basically an even start for the Puck v Necrophos matchup. It's going to be both sides getting the water runes as well. In terms of rotations in the mid lane, which team do you think has the advantage with not only the supports that can come and potentially get a kill, but also being able to leave their offlaner or whatever other lane, even the safe laner alone?
Honestly, it's maybe not that different for both sides. Like, I would say, like, both Tusk and Hoodwink really like leaving their lanes. I'm not sure if we'll see that much from both Jinkyu and Kataomi playing the Winter Wyvern and the Zombie, as they're a little bit more slow. But overall, like, the other annoying thing for the Necro, or for Puck against the Necro in this matchup, is that by the time you have Coil, usually Necro is like nearly full HP, he's got like a 20 wand ready, he's got maybe even a Raindrop, a Fluffy Hat, so it's very difficult to move to this lane.
And we see a little bit of action here from Barbecue Brisket team, as you can see Bach getting pushed out just a bit, playing the Beastmaster, which has been an extremely consistent offlaner. It feels like any offlaner that buys Helm of the Dom becomes just that.
Yeah, and he owned yesterday. Like, his Beast performance was crazy, and he was very, very pressured in that game as well. And honestly, while this early laning stage is not that easy for the Beast, I think Beast scales quite well throughout this lane. Like, once you get level 2 boars, maybe level 3, you deal a lot of damage to the Bear. Also, Undying kind of, he likes playing against Beast early on, but not later. All the summons are very annoying. It's very hard to run into this hero.
How good would you say Wyvern is against the Bear later in the game, especially if you're linked up?
Very good. I think Wyvern has to be like one of the worst support matchups. You're one of the supports, you have Cold Embrace, first of all. Obviously, that's a full nullification of any damage you have on Lone Druid. And the Curse as well is incredibly good, as is Arctic Burn. Like, the Bear hates when there's random stuff that's slowing you, that's stunning you, that's making it difficult for you to walk in. So I'm expecting Jinkyu to have very good impact, which he always does.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Whether it's killing couriers or heroes, he'll do something in the game usually. One of the more, I mean, it's weird to call him underrated, but he keeps finding himself on new teams. I mean, I guess that's just the Chinese scene in general. They're just swapping.
No, but this guy is very good. Like, whatever team he joins, they place incredibly well, right? Like, Vici were fine, but then they get XM, they get Jinkyu, and I feel like they're finally starting to really flourish with like what they're showing us with the performance.
Yeah, for sure, which begs the question, why are they free agents to begin with?
Yep. Shout out to XG.
Maybe he doesn't wash his face enough, I suppose. That's definitely a possibility. Hasn't learned his lesson from the great Zhao 8. And as Kiritich right now sitting on the pretty good CS, 28-4 versus the 22-3 of Shiro's Clinks, which we have yet to mention in this game. How good of a Clinks game is it?
It's a good Clinks game. I wouldn't, like, it's not free by any means, as they should potentially get a kill on the Billy the Boar. No, it's gonna get denied. Very nicely done by Jinkyu. Clinks game, it's good. You're laning with a Tusk, so you're quite happy. The problem is, like, Slardar is very annoying for you. Like, later on in the game, of course, the Corrosive Haze is not something you love playing into. But other than that, you have quite good Roche capability. You have nice team fighting with the Beast. But I have to point out, GPK is overperforming in this mid lane. This is not the expected outcome. You have to definitely overperform.
Yep, as Bach gets taken out, blocked in there as the rotation from BB team comes to fruition. A good kill again for them. 2-0 start, 1K lead.
Yep. And this has to be the move. Like, when you play against teams, the 5-minute move with a +4 can TP into the safe lane, you get a potential kill, it's nighttime. You link up together and you can go to the rune now at the 6-minute mark. And I am surprised that they can actually play through this mid lane very nicely, I would say, with GPK. Full HP, full resources, Raindrop, Fairy Fire, Coil to boot.
It's going to be a fight for this rune if it ends up spawning bottom. It's going to see Miero get a crush on the bot side, connecting with Y. And he will back away as the rune is still top, I do believe. And it'll be a haste for GPK. So first power rune going the way of Backstreet Boys team.
Let's see if the Boom Squad can make use of this haste rune, because while Necro is very good and he can be static, right, in the mid lane, he's not that good at like responding to side lanes. He's very slow early on until you have travels, and you don't really want to move like so much around on the map. And with a haste rune on Mr. GPK, of course, you can look for some openings.
Still many members up here for BB team.
And they might bring GPK over to this Wisdom Shrine, right? Minute 7, you've got the haste rune as well.
As Miero gets gone on, he's going to get off the crush onto Y as a TP. You know, nice shards blocking him in, but reinforcements have arrived as Jin-Q getting gone on now by GPK, and Miero is going to ensure the kill. Although has to be a bit careful, gets off the crush, and the inevitable kill onto Jin-Q comes to fruition. Cat, tell me, we've seen this not too long ago. The Undying is very good in these engagements. Puts down that tombstone as the Reaper Sight will bring the Undying to his grave. The axe is coming out as XM getting extremely low. Another death pulse, but the snowball's going to save him for the time being into the lone druid. Kiritich extremely low, will get the kill, gets a fear away, trying to go for the Wisdom Shrine, but he gets axed in the end. And after all of that, Bach retains. Yeah, they still have to kill these pesky zombies. No vision on the tombstone overall.
Very, very clutch. Yeah, honestly, by nearly everyone involved. Without that snowball, XM definitely dies way earlier to Kiritich in that rotation. But GPK, top of the net worth, as is Kiritich on the Lone Druid. You know, the Lone Druid is maybe a bit more expected. But the fact that B-Square team here have a top net worth puck at this stage against a Necro, that is not normal.
You say the Lone Druid is expected. I feel like every game, including the one yesterday where they won, it's been bottom net worth the entire game until like maybe 40 minutes.
Player issue.
Okay.
I think this. I've been very impressed with Kiritich, who, you know, when you talk about the experience-wise, you know, for BB team, I would say he's the least experienced. All the other people have played multiple TIs, have done very well, at like all the EWCs.
Yeah.
But Kiritich, he's been really, really stepping it up.
Yep, as GPK will find himself a couple of bounty runes, not too shabby. Has the damage runes still bottled. As we'll see what UC gets out of that. And XM, no big surprise. Although, maybe it is a surprise. Do you typically go the Boots of Travel before the Radiance in the mid lane?
Like, if you have an ultra-free game, you can go Radiance. It is, like, quite slow. But I like the travels. I think it's, like, it's one of the ways you can more easily move around the side lanes. Also, you have an offlane Beastmaster. He's going to have Dominator eventually. So anytime there's a roar, you travel on top, drop the Scythe, take someone out of the game.
Well, Banana Boat team with a little bit of a lead in this early stage of the game, but when it comes to the mid game, I would assume BB team have the advantage with Roche, mainly because of the Bear and Corrosive Haze and Tombstone, I suppose.
Like, while they, so it's definitely a lot easier for them to take Roche, but Vici are also not that bad when it comes to like fighting it.
Yeah.
Sure, like maybe the pit into the Tombstone isn't super easy, but you have Winter's Curse against a lot of these heroes. It is very good, right? Corrosive Haze, the Bear. And this is what we saw them do yesterday. Stack up the triangle. You know, even though Bach maybe doesn't have the best early laning stage, he can just fully recover with the max axis.
And GPK still not opting to use this damage rune quite yet. It's going to end up popping on its own accord here pretty soon.
It's very nice if you can hold these runes like as long as possible. Like a lot of the things in Dota, it's not just about using it, but more like the threat of it. Oh, he's got a haste rune, we can't make any moves. He's got the amplified damage rune because now he still has it for the 10-minute rune fight that's coming up.
That's true. Pressuring this tier 1 tower now. And XM can only look on. We'll see where this next rune pops. It ends up being like an arcane and damage rune combined, which it'll end up being the bot side, just a regen for Miero.
Nice cover from him. Can hold this for GPK. And these, you know, the chip damage on towers like this, it matters a lot. You have Lone Druid in the top lane, slowly pressuring. GPK got the mid tower to 30% now. There's a 10-minute siege creep. You know, suddenly, instead of being like, oh, we can't take the mid tower, you could actually bring some heroes and potentially commit to it.
We'll see if BattleBots are able to do anything with this rune advantage at this early stage. But so far, kind of what we've been seeing across the board in these games is just the content to farm in this early stage. Not a ton of action.
As you say that, they are going for a smoke.
Okay.
Into the triangle. So looking at, you know, Bach potentially finding him. At the same time, of course, you see Kiritich pushing in the top tier 1 tower. There's the courier. They will not start attacking it. Let's see if they break.
Heading to the north, and this will just be pressure for the tier 1. See if GPK can find a potential opening here on an actual hero kill.
And you can see that even though the smoke, technically it doesn't land, there's a lot of pressure that's currently being put onto Vici. This top tier 1 is dying. They're looking for a play down here onto Miero.
Ball onto Miero. Just a little bit of chip damage. Can't really threaten his life at the moment. As Kataomi puts down the tombstone to ensure that this tier 1 tower will go the way of BB team.
Having a very, very good early game. I expected Vici to have a little bit of a lead here, as a Shiro taking quite a bit of early pressure.
That's a long-ass slow on the Shiro. They still have that vision thanks to the corrosive haze, and he just gets demolished. And even the coil now expended for that double kill onto GPK. Very nice turnaround here as XM being pressured now. Already at half HP is Kataomi coming from the south. That's going to be a 3-for-0 as BB team will likely get the tier 1 tower as well.
Yeah, BB team are kind of owning when it comes to some of their early rotations. I think this is a bit more of a macro outplay when we're looking at this early game. Smoking up top, applying some pressure, pushing mid at the same time. Jinkyu wasn't available to come help out in this fight, only just got his level 6 not that long ago. And the 3K lead this early on. And, you know, we talked about it before. Sure, Puck in some games doesn't really pop off, but first of all, it's GPK Puck. He won a matchup that he shouldn't, and he's got a lot of backup.
Yeah, definitely being more aggressive now. As like you said, the lead is continuing to extend, and this is where it gets a bit scary, because if you're doing this against a lone druid who's not really participating too much at the moment, that's obviously going to change once he can separate himself from the bear with that Aghanim Scepter, which I assume will come after the Mjolnir. Yeah. Looks like that is in the quick buy.
They did force a true form out of Heritage by fake pumping the roar there earlier on box. So maybe there's a world where you have a window, you know, to find a smoke potentially onto the big bad bear. But at the same time already GPK, he's got different ideas.
He's coming in. They want Bach. The Illusory Orb's going to hit. They get the Waning Rift as well to the coil. Is there any follow-up, though? The bear finally comes out as they get the roar and the curse at the same time. Not the greatest layering. With that, Vici have to run away. Jin Q likely to be the sacrifice. Definitely not what the doctor ordered.
Killed the Necro as well.
Died somewhere off the map in the mid lane. Wow.
Blink reveal from Miero.
Okay.
And this is another, like, a great feature of when a team is in the zone. You can make multiple plays at the same time very clearly. They attack top with 2. In the meantime, Miero and Save, they're not looking there. They know the job top is done with just 2. So they keep going to the mid lane, and now 40-minute Wisdom Shrine, 15 seconds here for the Bibbidi Bobbidi team.
Yeah, Banana Boat team are really doing a good job here in the early game. And it's going to be pretty tough for Vici to get their own Wisdom Shrine, like you said. Got all these creeps now pushed up, and Save just waiting it out, and it looks like it'll be a freebie for him.
It's funny, like, also how Dota works is that if some things don't go according to plan, like, you would expect BB team to be the team that has to play slightly more defensive, they're behind, but they're kind of full just reverse Uno with this GPK early game performance, where now it's Vici Gaming. They have to wait. They have to wait for the Helm of the Overlord, they have to wait for the Radiance on XM. Even Shiro on the Klings, you know, he's no Deso yet, he's working on it. Might even go for the Shard first if he feels like he has to play more around the map.
XM did change his mind, by the way. It will be the Radiance first.
Yeah, because at this point, I like it. Like, when you're down 4K gold, you're never going to use these Boots of Travel aggressively. Might as well go for the more scaly item, try to speed up your game as much as you can.
I mean, from Vici's perspective, when is the time that they can actually start fighting?
This is like one of the problems for them. They don't have any clear catch. Like, the way Beastmaster likes to play is that he wants to own areas. He wants to take the enemy safe lane tier 1, play in their jungle, move into the mid lane. And honestly, it's a bit similar for Necro. He's not good at walking somewhere and just, you know, starting a fight.
GPK is going to find XM and be a very juicy kill before he can get this Radiance. It's not that far away, but get the stun coming out from the Tusk, but the crush comes out in the last moment from the arrow as the Illusory Orb attempted TP. He barely gets out. Big getaway there for XM. That would have been quite crippling with the Radiance not too far in the future.
Yeah, very, very needed survival there for XM. And yeah, just to talk about when they can fight, it depends a little bit more. I think when BB team overplay, I think until then Vici are very happy if the game like kind of scales and slows down. You can see that Jinkyu going for max out Splinter Blast, and I get it. You want to slow down the push, get some couple items, and I like the stuff he has queued up. You know, sometimes you can say, oh, Jinkyu, he's so greedy, but an Orchid in this game can be a huge difference maker, especially against the GPK puck.
Yeah,
you don't want to allow these idiot puck guys when they have top net worth to just be like, woohoo, I go Witchblade, I go Blink, I go Parasma, and just go full out aggression.
I mean, he is buying a Yule's next, though,
yeah,
already.
He gets it.
GPK. As we see the replay here, XM just barely getting out.
Of course, it was
waiting for that crush, and that's all he needed, apparently.
It was very good cover, of course, by Y. Initially tanking the sharpshooter and coming in with the overall saves to get XM out. You can see them here. They're in good spirits. They understand, you know, Necro still can have a very good mid to late game.
Bach, already Corrosive Haze applies. We'll use the Roar, but he's completely outnumbered. And a Tombstone is placed as the reinforcements finally arrive. They're going to get the push into the Reaper site as well. They do get the kill. Turn around onto Kataomi. But XM bites the dust to the sharpshooter. And now the curse coming out. A lot of damage applied to Miero. Not quite enough for the kill. Coil's not going to connect as GPK looking to finish the job. As Save is just racking up the kills apparently on his Hoodwink. Double kill for him. Ends up being a 3-for-0. Very close, Vici turning that around, but in the end, they lose everybody that came.
Save has 8 Vessel charges at minute, I mean, that was minute 16. And it's a Vessel against Winter Wyvern and Necro, which absolutely hurts. Later, he can also go for the shard, right? You buff up a little bit more. Spell amplification into your entire draft. So, Vici, while I do like, you know, some of the heroes that they have, didn't even mention, I love Necro and Winter Wyvern together. Maybe later when there's a Nullifier, you can't use your Ghost Shroud suddenly. There's a Ghost, like a Cold Embrace to help you out. But when you're playing into this type of deficit, a lot of things become a lot more difficult.
Yeah, and how fast can basketball team actually go for Roche, do you think?
I think they can dunk Roche real quick.
Yeah?
Yeah, you've got Undying, and I don't know if you can ask for much better, like, Roche takers outside of your carry position. You can have the Tombstone, you've got the damage amp. Well, luckily for Vici, the Golem is on cooldown here for Kataomi.
And Shiro will show himself, just a newly picked up Desolator, but like we can see on the other side, Roche will be cleanly taken by BB Team.
And I like this too, from GPK. You know, it's about some of the small things. You know that there's a very small chance Vici contests this Roche. Even if they do, you can just TP like GPK is doing, as they want to hand him the Aegis. But in the meantime, he was defending the top tier 1 tower. Safe.
Bushwhack into the dust. They actually find the Clinks. Already at half HP. Gets crushed and destroyed. No time to do anything for Shiro. And Bowling Ball Team are really snowballing this. With an 8K lead now, Age is still intact, obviously, and they can just push down any lane they want.
I mean, honestly, these guys are just striking everywhere on the entire map. You can also see how fast they're playing. Like, BB Team, full confidence, very little pressure on them. As they are TPing up top, they have a very nice lane ward, where Safe is also spotting them.
Yeah, Miera looking for an opening. Gets the Corrosive Haze into the crush, though. The Snowball going to save Bach for a little bit, but the Bushwhack onto 2 with the coil to follow. Just way too much damage for BB Team. Not even close. And this is going to approach the 10K lead mark, or 10K net worth lead at this stage of the, I mean, it's 19 minutes in. This is absurd levels of play from BB Team.
These guys are zoning, like, pretty hard. You know, first GPK defends top as they take Roche safe. In the meantime, while Roche dies, sets up the mid play. Immediately after the mid play, he TPs top towards the lane ward. You can just tell they have a very nice read and grasp on the map currently, trying to push back everyone.
Not too long away, we're going to see that Tormentor taken out. And of course, with the Corrosive Haze, it's going to be easy pickings for BB Team.
Slaughter it's another benefit of this hero. Like, you're not just, you own a lot of heroes because armor is, obviously you can buy Lotus Ores, but it takes a while. But you're so good at both Roche and Tormentor. Probably the best hero at amplifying it.
It just feels like Shiro just finding scraps across the map. It feels like that's the case for every core on Vici's side, as the top 3 net worths in the game are all cores from BB Team.
And we've seen more and more shards on the Undying, especially Kataomi. I like it here.
I love it, yeah.
And he's been buying it in any game, but especially in this one. There's a Scythe, there's a Roar, Winter's Curse, everything. Like, they already have so many good things available. And with the 2 shards that they bought, you know, that means one of the cores could even get a shard for themselves.
Or just the Boomerang, which it will be.
They will be quite happy about that. You have physical damage amp, you have magic damage amp, you have overall damage amp from the Undying. Did lose their top tier 1 tower, but it is like, this is not how you want to play Necro. Necro, he wants to vacuum the entire wave with Radiance travels.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have boots of travel, as he had to deviate his item build.
Kiritich has got his bear now. His baseball team ready to push even more. And Aegis online for another 2.5. No rush for BB team.
No, absolutely not. Because now,
Gonna wait for this Wisdom Shrine again.
It's got the Ags available on the lone, so Kiritich can just take the bottom shrine.
They actually find a connection onto XM. Just creating a little bit of space so they can steal this bad. Oh my god! The burst damage is absurd. The coil still expended onto the Beastmaster. A nice curse, though. There's a lot of damage onto XM. The roar comes up with the last soul rip into the tombstone. He grabs his ally, and this is just looking not remotely close. Double kill for GPK. Looking for Shiro on the backside. That's the only member of Vici able to get away at this point. And GPK picking up his shard in base.
He just picked up a 21-minute shard at the enemy fountain. This game, like, without throwing any shade, it looks like they're kind of smurfing on Vici Gaming. And this is not an easy thing to replicate by any means. BB team they're just owning everywhere. Like, look at this kill on XM. It's basically, it's save and coil. That's it.
Sharpshooter into Crush. Boom. Or GPK actually getting that one.
And it's like,
this was a good connection, though. The curse into the eventual roar. Great layering, but you see the soul rip, the tombstone, just too much.
They need this Orchid on Jin-Q. It is one of the small ways you can potentially come back, right? You can maybe force out a defensive fuels and like snowball through, catch him on the way down, or maybe you can Orchid the Undying while the fight is going, because then actually you would get a kill. But yeah, Habibi squad, they are demolishing them in this game.
Yeah, for sure. There's Kiritich. He's starting to wake up because he has Aghanim Scepter, so his bear can do his work. Mira looking for a random crush, not able to find a connection, but they do find the coil onto Y. As Kataomi is there, Bushwhack actually hits from save. He has been all over the place. My #1 support, by the way. Just saying.
I'm with you. This guy's good.
Well, you were disagreeing with me yesterday.
I don't, on save?
Yeah.
He's 8-0, and I love this guy. He's like one of the best players in the world.
We had a literal argument on stream.
No, you said best, I said it's like top 3.
Yeah, I think he's the best.
He's always there. Let's see. Let him talk today and tomorrow with his gameplay.
8-0 on Hoodwink. That is insane.
Yeah, most of them are doing pretty well, as we could also, of course, get a very mini scoreline in the 3-2-2 if the BB squad team could get another kill onto the board.
Yeah, that's one thing we can look forward to in this game, as BKB picked up by Miero.
Okay, smoke purchased by Jin-Q. Might want to look for, well, a big reveal here on the Orchid. Maybe surprise someone.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the problem is you have Tombstone to save. As we've already seen, Miera looking for the opening onto XM. Y is there with a snowball, doesn't mitigate that much damage. Healing up nicely.
Yeah, BKB.
Necrophos actually focusing on the Tusk for now, but the bash comes out into the Crush. Goodbye, XM. Goodbye, Y. Double kill from Miero and Beach Ball team. They're going to get... I mean, this is... absurd levels of play right now.
Just say it.
We missed the 3-2-2, by the way. Really unfortunate.
That was like a 2-second window, because XM, he doesn't seem like a hero at the moment. It is so difficult for him to play into these dire heroes. Too many problems. Magic damage, physical damage. He needs a Manta, he needs a Shiva's Guard, he needs travels, and you don't have the space to farm the gold. Let's see who gets godlike first this game from the BBD Babidi squad. Probably safe. Wouldn't mind seeing him rack up another kill here on the Hoodwink.
Looking for another connection here. Miero heading to the north, which is actually where Shiro is, but he's able to TP out in time. The fact that they're even close to this is kind of crazy. I mean, just no space at all for Vici to find any levels of farm. And Black Bear team, I mean, speaking of the bear, finally getting online, and this is when things start to get even crazier, because they've been doing this. We said literally the same thing yesterday. They've been doing this mostly without this lone druid.
Yeah, and honestly, their base push later, like if they want to force, they absolutely can. You have the bear, you have soul rips, you can drop a tombstone, you have a solar crest on safe, who's currently queuing up a Vlad's as well. You know, just all the little types of buffs and armor and physical amp you can pump into your bear. Let's see what Vici are up to here. Looking for a smoke. But overall, BB team have done a very good job when it comes to the map. Like, only giving up 3 kills, it's not like Vici aren't looking for them. They have a Winter Wyvern with an Orchid, a Tusk with a Blink Dagger, and a Desolator on their Klings.
Well, they might run into the bear. Can they even kill the bear, though, is the question at this
Well, they can try, but if there's any counterplay...
It feels like they would need to expend a good amount at this stage of the game, and you can just resummon it. Like, you're not really gaining that much.
There's a big chance that Vici might just wait for the BB squad to potentially overplay onto them in the map. And Shiro can look for him.
The real hero?
Yeah.
Might not look like a real hero with a single branch in his inventory.
I think Kiritich may have spotted that some camps were dead that just respawned around his bear. So potentially knowing,
look at this farm speed. That is impressive. Do you think he's even looking at that hero?
Honestly, it's at this point, like, Lone Druid has to be one of the best farmers, and like Naga, Siren, Alchemist, and all of these heroes. I also like that you can just get like the same neutral item with the same enchantment. Like Nimble Serrated Shiv is incredibly good to farm.
Yeah.
So of course the rest of the boys in the team will, you know, rack up their greedy enchantments. So a blink on Jin Q is what he currently is eyeing up. You also got a blink on Y, so you at least are getting a little bit of mobility on the supports here. I mean, I wonder what Bak is going to buy. He's saving a lot of gold on the Beast. Maybe just like a straight-up AC. I think that could be quite good. Like, try to just overwhelm them with minus armor on the Deso and the Beast here.
And not often you see somebody with 4K gold in this position.
Yeah. Just goes to show that, you know, you have to find those moments and opportunities in the game to be creative. Maybe find some of those items that in other games you would never entertain buying at this position, but maybe here you have to.
Yep. And you can see BB team just farming the map. They can go for Roche anytime they want. And then that's when
that's a bear.
Roar onto the bear. Might be able to get life number 1. They will not. So that's the state that Vici Gaming are in right now.
Yep.
In fact, they're just going to go blow up the Clinks instead. That is what a kill looks like, says BB team. An Ice Curse, though, onto the puck with the Orchid to fall. It's a lot of damage. Gets off the Yule, is going to dodge the snowball as a result. The Tusk just drops as a random member. 3 dead for Vici. And Barry Bursting team just continue the pressure here.
They are kind of just owning through this entire map, right? Like, Bak couldn't really connect, like, XM as well. I don't even know if he really looked at this play. He's just, you know, staying in the top lane, trying to farm up, waiting for a better opportunity. Definitely a bit of a misplay earlier, not having any detection against the bear, and then just getting counterplayed.
They're doing this without Aegis. They realize how ahead they are. And force out the fortification.
You can try to force them all to base and then still play. You can play for Roche anytime you want here.
Yeah, they're gonna back away, play discipline, which has been the thing I've been most impressed with BB team is they don't really throw leads all too often anymore. If you go back, I mean, I know the roster has slightly changed, but even just GPK alone, they had a propensity to do so like no other team, I feel like.
No, these guys have all improved massively, not just individually, but I think as a team. And not just gameplay-wise or like your, you know, the skill. It's also like the mentality and what you're working on, what's important in the game. When is the last time Vici got a kill in this game? Like 10, 15 minutes ago?
It's been a hot minute. And even the bear, we'll count that as a kill at this point of the game.
This could be something. This could be an opening for Vici.
They are smoked up. You can see GPK popping the smoke on a couple members, and BB team gonna play it a little bit safe. Wait for Vici to make a move, potentially. Still not in any huge hurry. Don't want to take any chances for the bucket barfing team. 19K lead with the smoke.
Oh, good stun. Well, Vici should be happier if Roche ends up going to the top side of the map. I think maybe if you want to like play with some buybacks or do something. We have a smoke on smoke action. They are dodging each other for now. And need to see where Vici go here. Are you going to go through the gate to like end up top? Are they just waiting for some Tormentor play? Is it like to go all the way around?
Yeah. Well, Roche,
belch.
He does belch. He's going to go to the top in 10 seconds as a double tap onto Y. Holy Jesus, this is absurd. And now the creep for Bak, not going to live too much longer. They get the coil onto the single target. It's the Ghost Rod going to keep him safe for now as XM starting to do a little bit of damage. They're going to get the roar at the last moment, but this damage is just too much. They are just dropping like flies. This is not remotely close. GG's called. BB team take it. 30-3 is the scoreline. Wow. Not remotely close.
No, that is a very unexpected stomp. Like from what we've seen from Vici in the last couple days, they looked so good, but here I have to say, I think there's a big outskill going on because I didn't mind the draft at all. But GPK putting on a show, you know, the whole blockbuster team here kind of just showing up together, winning all their lanes, perfect movements, giving up only 3 kills.
Is like even with you on net worth, and so is that an individual mistake from XM? Is that a team misunderstanding of Necro? It's hard to say for sure. Like if it's just an individual mistake to learn from, that's fine. But if it is like a team thing, then I think it did look a bit off, I guess would be my answer to your question. But I do think that one mistake says a lot about their understanding of the hero as well.
Yeah. Vici Gaming, they go back for something, you know, that brought them a lot of success yesterday. Obviously in the cuddle, most likely to be played by Zinq and BB. I mean, they just, you know, keep on the undying train. Like they remain there. This hero has been incredibly successful. Like every game we've watched it, I don't think there's a single game where we were like, yeah, you know, this undying really got countered, and it, because there were metas where undying could also just be a burden. Like it just does nothing. Sometimes you would even lose its lane, and then you're just there, and all you do is just like frontlining, dying, you know, eventually getting the tombstone off. It feels like a completely different hero right now. It's just so hard to deal with. Like it starts with the laning phase, the early game presence. We've seen, you know, wisdom fights with tombstone. Like Malady is probably the specialist of this one. At every stage, it gives you Roche. Also, it gives you like objectives with the flesh golem. This hero is just incredibly strong right now, and I'm hoping that Vici Gaming will just put enough respect on it.
How important is it to have a tombstone hitter when you're up against Undying, even if it is a +5?
I think it's crucial. I think it's one of these heroes like Phoenix, for instance. It's like you just can't ignore that spell. You just can't pretend it's not just another spell. Especially now that they're willing to buy the shard early and abuse the save, which I think is like one of the best shards like in the game. So in that sense, I think you always need to have a tombstone hitter. You also need to be able to take down this Undying. You know, for free, we would say, in the sense like without using key resources, because he's not a core hero. But you know, we heard players complain about playing versus Undying, like we have to deal with 4 core heroes, because that's how it feels at times. Like he's just standing there in the front, and you feel like you need to click spells on him, but you don't want to use Necro ulti, for instance. You don't want to use like certain items or abilities, so it's tricky.
Yeah, there's usually 2 options, or I'd say 3 options for Undying. One is obviously be able to kill the tombstone. 2 is be able to like force out defensive spells without committing. Like heroes like Hoodwink are a great example, where you represent a lot of long range bursts that might need to be saved from before they even go in. And then you also have heroes like Storm Spirit that can go on the target and then easily disengage. And that's what I think they were going for, is this poke and prod disengage strategy. And then when you look at the counter from BB team, I think it addresses that near flawlessly. You have the Shadow Shaman that they already picked for save yesterday. The best, like him and Lion are the 2 best support disablers against the Spirit heroes. And then Ember Spirit, also one of the hardest heroes to disengage from. So it's like, if I'm Storm Spirit and I'm thinking my job is to force out a reaction and then disengage, what item am I buying? Like, I think BKB is the only one that addresses both of these. Some Storms in the past feel like they have to go for Greaves against the Ember Spirit in order to dispel the chains and the Spirit Vessel and the Mage Slayer. But in this case, I think already, I mean, Storm has not had good results so far this tournament. XM, signature hero for him for sure. And also now you have like the Terrorblade that hits the tomb. But just something about this draft, like obviously maybe it's a bit of bias coming from game 1, but something feels like BB has the better answers thus far. What do you think, Seb?
I mean, yeah, I see where you're coming from. They have some incredible heroes, like you mentioned it, like the Rasta versus Storm. There's the great synergy also between Ember and Largo. We've seen that combo really decimate like team fights. It's amazing. But you know, I'm a Coddle fan at heart, and like Coddle Storm is still like a menace in the early game. Like this Undying, this Rasta, like where they can walk on the map is going to be so restricted. It's like the second you're like a little bit too far away from a tower or like slightly out of position, you're just dead to Storm. Like you need your Ember to be with you and hug you all the time to protect you. There's also the Coddle TB, which I think is like one of the strongest Coddle combos. Like metas in the mid game, meta's gonna be up all the time. Like there's gonna be no downtime. This TB is like acceleration, and the farm is just gonna skyrocket because of Chakra Magic. TB Illus like everywhere around the map, shoving every wave into you with the threat of Storm Hoodwink attacking you and making you pay for trying to deep push waves. So I think the Vici Gaming draft, again, like so far I've been a big fan of all their drafts, even though, you know, sometimes it didn't really pay off. Like I see where they're heading with this one too, and it's quite interesting. You talked about Tombstone hitter. TB is definitely one. Like you think of TB, Manta, like he's just hitting down everything that's close to him, right? So this Undying will just explode, and the Tombstone will die, all like will get taken down too. So, but again, it's gonna be, you know, you mentioned it, Brian, like they have this early game presence on BB, and they can cause a lot of issues. And could it be a repeat of game 1? It's not impossible if you look at the heroes.
And wasn't really up to the heroes in the previous game though, per se, right? It was also a lot of outplay.
It was, but it's like you kind of need to have the tools to push your advantage in a sense. Like, and I feel like they have it this time around again. Like this Ember, Largo, Undying lineup, it can accelerate really fast.
What do we make of this Night Stalker overall last pick? I believe we've mostly seen it as an answer to the Puck. Is it as strong of an answer to the Shadow Shaman Ember?
It'll definitely make Shadow Shaman's job a lot harder. He is a support that relies on catching somebody, and then the difference between him and Lion is that he's channeling his long disable. So I see what they're going for with it. It is blind into Kiritich's hero. You're also against an Undying off lane. You're probably going to play some lane shenanigans. I think the cool thing about it is that once 5 minutes hits, you're probably not going to have too bad of a start. Like you're probably going to lose the first 5 minutes for sure, but then you're going to be relatively self-sufficient because most Undying lanes operate on chase potential, and obviously Night Stalker, one of the most innately fastest heroes in the game. Once nighttime hits, I'm wondering if he goes for like the carry to carry matchup counter, like a Phantom Lancer, for instance, for Kiritich, or if he's going to go more like shut down the Night Stalker and play out the momentum that they're already representing in the other lanes. Do you have a preferred approach?
I think it's very okay. He goes for something a little bit more active, I guess, with the Wind Ranger, which also is considered like a good matchup against TB. Until a point, anyway. Like you just have an overwhelming amount of magic damage and you just take down the TB, especially with the help of like Largo, Undying. Like they have so much like sustain and save on BB side. I like the Night Stalker pick. I think it synergizes really well with Vici's lineup. I'm just afraid of the matchup versus Undying, because Undying has always been considered one of the best Night Stalker counters in the game because of, you know, the night vision you get from Tombstone. And all of a sudden, you know, there's like zombies everywhere. Every hero, you can keep track of everybody. I also think that it's, even though Night Stalker is in a great place as a hero, there's like this Essence Distiller item, which I think ruins Night Stalker's game completely. Like, you essentially, they also have your vision, like the night vision, for 8 seconds, which is very unfortunate if you're an NS enjoyer. So we'll have to see. I think it's a risky pick. Like, it makes a lot of sense. It could work, but it's brave.
Ooh, it's brave. That is not really a convincing answer. Let's put it that way.
I mean, bravery is good, no? Isn't it?
True.
It's worked out for them, like with the Slark pick yesterday and stuff like this. I mean, I think the sad reality for me, at least, is I think there's potential of a rerun of Game 1. Like, the snowball effect of BB Team's draft is immense based on the heroes that they have. They have very similarly paced lineup, but if Vici can get past that first 10 minutes on even footing, I think they have a lot of good map play. They have the vision game from Night Stalker. And I'll just give a shout out. The Tombstone night vision got nerfed a little bit at some point. So it's not, at least, maybe the Essence of the Distiller still counters you, but at least you have the vision. I hope you have the vision advantage coming from Vici, because then the Storm can also jump. And at the end of the day, I'm a Vici fan right now because I want a Game 3 in this playoff Shiver, and we're yet to have one.
People.
I'm a believer. You know, you go back to the TI finals, you know, the Wash Your Face meme. It's like, it started off this way and they brought it to Game 5, and it was incredibly close. So I think you got this.
We all want to believe, but let's find out if Vici Gaming's key will still be in one piece at the end of this one, or if BB will be allowed to crush it. We're heading over to our commentary duo of Sunsfan and Kezu.
Yo, yo, yo. Sunsfan in the house with Kezu.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, that was not a good Game 1. We're just going to be straight with you here. I want to know, is that Vici Gaming's worst loss? Have they had a loss with 3 or less kills before?
I will check that out for you with our Lenovo Legion channel, which is important to note. Let me check that out. www.stupidstats.sunsfan asks for. They have never in their history lost this badly.
Wow.
They've always had either 4 kills or more. So GGing at 33 minutes with 3 kills, I'm expecting a better game this time around.
Oh, it literally has to be, unless...
It's not a given.
I think it is. We're going to see a better game number 2 here between Vici Gaming and BB Team. And remember, whoever wins this series goes to the grand finals. Loser goes to the 3rd place decider.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be there.
No.
That's the toilet bowl match. We'll be casting that, so it's going to be a perfect cast
perfect
for us, at least.
Perfect cast. Just right down our alley. But the thing is, yeah, you don't want to be in that position. You want to punch back here if you're Vici. I am a little surprised that they let Kataomi have Undying again. For I don't know how many times this guy has played the zombie in this tournament, but he does seem like one of the best Undying players.
Yeah, it has been
so
quite
much.
solid, and it's been a big move with the Wisdom Shrine.
Yes.
It feels like every single time it's this hero, regardless
it's the
of the
Malady
team.
script.
Absolutely.
Minute 7, execute, walk to the Wisdom Shrine.
Malady started it, and, well, Kataomi trying to finish it here, at least for this series. On the Undying, we're going to see some new picks, though. We see Miero picking up the Largo. He's been, I want to say, one of the most consistent Largos in, I mean, since the hero's been in Captain's mode.
Yeah.
I feel like I rarely see him have a poor game. GPK on the Ember Spirit, and Kiritich on the Windrunner as the carry.
both teams have a very good draft. I would assume that what Vici are going for this time around. So I like Caudle against Undying. You can kind of split the lane, right? You can always just push. Undying wants to run you down, your super high movement speed yourself with the Caudle. And Caudle drafts generally don't play on high commit, right? Like what Undying is very good against, he has very good team fight with the Tombstone. If you commit, he saves. But Caudle has a lot of heals. He's very fast. You can like maybe bait the Tombstone, maybe go on someone, you know, back up your Storm with mana and keep going. So I like their approach here. Jinkyu though,
oh, he's taking a lot of decay damage and the right clicks from Kiritich. That's first blood already going the way of BB Team. Another good start for them, and they're against Bach on the Night Stalker, which is, for me, the topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Because, not to sound like a broken record, this hero is either setting the tempo and getting you off to a good mid game, or it's just trash the whole game. Yeah. Which are we going to see?
I hope that we're going to see a good game. The good thing for them is, though, like, and how Vici have won games in the past couple days is like early aggression and very good map play, right? When you have Night Stalker, you have crazy vision in the mid game. TB fixes your lanes, and Caudle deals with your cooldowns. And there's also a world, I think, where Night Stalker can build like a somewhat earlier shard in the mid game. If you get Chakra Magic, you have like double AoE on, you know, on your Void, which is quite good. But yes, definitely a hero that can be shut down early on.
I mean, where would you rate the Caudle pick versus other games? Because usually we see it coupled with like a Beastmaster. You talked about the Void. It's okay. Storm Spirit, obviously quite decent just to get the mana back. And then Metamorphosis, which is essentially his ultimate, but not an actual ultimate.
I still think it's very good, right? You're playing with Storm and with TB. So you have two very good matchups there. You can see that XM is taking a lot of pressure. This time around, doing a lot better, though, when it comes to the CS. Currently having a slight lead here on the denies. Shiro.
See the shackle onto Shiro, taking a ton of damage as Miero can't quite finish it. Nice bushwhack coming out from Y. Shiro obviously with, I mean, this hero picked because of the high armor gain that you're going to have throughout the entire game, but magic damage is a pretty damn good counter, and I'm looking at their lineup. Do you think that they have enough to burn through this guy?
Wind Ranger has a lot of magic damage quite early on, right? Once you have like Maelstrom or later with some Mjolnir BKB. Also, Ember Largo is a crazy good combo. Also need to remember that Largo amplifies a lot of magic damage, which is very good against TB towards like, especially in the mid game. So we'll have to see where Shiro can get, because later you will need an MKB this game to deal with this Kiritich Wind Ranger.
It looks like BB Team will get both Lotuses on each respective side of the map.
Well, this bottom lane is quite a disaster. I do think that is a adequate description currently.
I mean, they picked Night Stalker very late in the draft, knowing that you're going to go against Undying, which feels just bad. Like, is there something else I'm missing here?
So the thing is that obviously you don't have facets anymore. You don't choose that it's nighttime to start the game. And Save just taking a little bit of pressure. So you're supposed to lose in the first 5 minutes. It's okay. The problem is there's a difference in losing and then there's getting demolished. And this currently is a little bit over the top. As of course also Kiritich had the first blood. As they are pressuring Bach.
Yeah, gets off the crippling fear as he runs, scurries behind the tier 1 tower. Still only 8 CS to his name thus far. Which Jinkyu, you can see, is almost the same. In this lane.
We'll need to see how they go about it, because Night Stalker will always give you a lot in the mid game. If you have other cores that you can play around, you're still very useful, right? With the silence and the overall vision you're giving.
This feels so bad for Faith Beyond, although creeps are going to be under his tier 1 soon. And they're going to be softened up by this Illuminate.
That's still a lot of denies. This is another couple of CS that he's... Because when you get when you play Night Stalker and it hits early nighttime, you want to be like kind of close to your face boots or like have some double bracer, but he only is getting his boots and he's on low HP.
Yeah, XM making a little damage here onto GPK, although XM is the one taking the brunt of it. Nice bushwhack rotation coming out from Y. The slide of fist from GPK. Is he now on the run? Getting slowed to a crawl though, and that's going to be enough. Jinkyu getting the kill there. But that means Bach all alone, which... means that Kataomi can just go absolute ham on him. Another decay to his name, and should be able to finish it off with another. If he wants to actually dive here, yep, power shot from the far. Kiritich, beautiful aim. And that's just putting more pressure on Faith Beyond to try to get back in this game. It is nighttime now, so hopefully for his sake, he can try to stabilize his game, but this is an atrocious start.
Yeah, they can look for a bit of counter pressure now potentially. Jinkyu though, very aggressive to kill the courier.
Yeah, he's just dead. Straight up dead. Tombstone plays from Kataomi, so Faith Beyond gonna get some solo XP, but we'll see how much he can do with this nighttime being on his side now. I actually wish that the facet,
That it just starts?
It just started with nighttime, yeah.
Yeah, maybe like...
Oh, that's big. He gets the tombstone.
Definitely big recovery, but I have to say that the battle bots in the bottom lane are getting way too much. Like some of the kills they're getting. It also means, again, when you have such good a laning stage, your Undying can move around. You can also look into the triangle. You're playing against a Kato. You're going to have a tombstone later. You can potentially aggress into the triangle as well.
Yeah.
XM, even with the help they give him, he's not level 6 yet.
Right into the TP. They get the Hex into the Shackle. Is there enough damage with the Decay? Not quite. Searing Chains is there, and the Remnants actually are enough as XM still not level. He was literally 1 creep from 6. And that would have been enough for him to get away, surely, but instead, he has to make the walk back of shame. That is rough in the mid lane.
Yeah, and not just that. Look what GBK is drawing on the minimap. 6-minute active rune on the haste. You have Undying. You know the script at minute 7. It's going to be executed on the Wisdom Shrine. And Storm, he will not have a TP. It will be up like 5 to 10 seconds after the Wisdom Shrine is available. Can you ask for a better game on Ember? You're getting kills, you're getting first rune, and now you're dragging a wave into a double stack.
Yeah, this is dirty. And Bleeding Blisters are off to yet another good start in this game number 2. Vici are going to have to find a way to somewhat stabilize, or else they're going to find themselves in similar position to the last game.
They're looking for their own pressure, so now it's important, how do the BB squad react to this? Because if you know that Kataomi will take the bottom Wisdom Shrine on his own, you can TP everyone to this top side.
Yeah, and they are attempting to contest as Miero inside. He's going to end up getting it for free. And Kataomi gets the other one, so yet another game where BB team get both Wisdom Shrines. And Vici, I mean, you can't even blame them. You have an offlaner. What is Night Stalker supposed to do in a Wisdom Shrine fight? He has to get back and
potentially, like... You definitely need to find a way to like maybe have, like you want to aggress on one side, and once you can kind of see the idea of where are they bringing which type of heroes to find an outnumbering, because you are now gonna lack levels on both your supports, and both Storm and Night Stalker, they don't have the most damage on themselves. They need Hoodwink level 6, they need Caudal level 6. So this is very, very big here for the BB squad.
And are we looking at similar situation when it comes to the Roche? It looks like a worse lineup by a long shot than last game.
It's still on BB's favor, right? Undying will nearly, like, Undying and Slaughter are some of my favorite Roche shaking heroes. Of course, with like Ursa, Wind Ranger also quite good with the Maelstrom.
Yeah, GPK actually gets the regen rune. Man, his timing is impeccable. And Bulbous Bison still able to get all these little trades left and right.
They are at least doing a very good job when it comes to Shiro's net worth. And honestly, the scaling for Vici is not weak at all. I can see TB, you know, be the big guy in this game. If later on you get to stand your ground with like an MKB and hit into the Wind Ranger, you will of course do very, very well. And you have a Caudal to back you up. You're going to have the vision from the Night Stalker. The only thing will be getting there and then still playing into the Ember Largo combo, which is incredibly strong.
Heritage focus firing this tier 1 tower. The box still level 5. Not able to do too much. Will be pressured out by Kataomi yet again. GPK is going to join the party and ensure that this tier 1 does in fact fall.
Yeah, just
BB team.
It's like the overall macro movement is very, very solid for a BB team. While they're hitting this bottom tier 1 tower with a lane ward, GPK is moving over. He has a remnant in the mid lane. Safe is sacking the triangle. And Miro is farming so safe, there's no counterplay on this Largo.
Yeah.
So everyone isn't able to do the exact play that they want to go for.
I wonder what Faith Beyond is thinking right now. Why did I pick Night Stalker? Who convinced me of such a thing? He does have his Dark Ascension now.
Well, he has always been a player who reminds me a lot of, you know, in terms, I would say Zai and him and like maybe Ice Ice Ice. These players are incredibly good with low net worth. You know, even though they're shut down, they're very capable of making correct calls, understanding one of the few openings in the game that you can go for.
Heritage gets opened up on by XM to get the Crippling Fear right on top of him as well. This would be an enormous kill for Vici, and it looks like they'll find him in the end. Nice shackle to delay it, but it's not enough. So Faith Beyond on the board with that kill. He's going to need a lot more. That came from.
Oh, that's the big one. And you still have Dark Ascension to play for any of the next fights if you want to. As yeah, this will be another active rune, of course, for the BB squad, as they have pretty much full mid control, right? Like GPK is continuously pushing in the lane, getting the active runes. Haven't of course talked about the Miro Largo yet. Gonna need to get some levels up for the Croak to then help out GPK. Let's see if they can get this tower. You know, the threat of the Dark Ascension might be good enough.
And we have some action mid. It's gonna be a shackle and a free kill onto Y. And the siege is still alive here. As you can see, BB team trying to finish it. Fortification comes out from Vici, but doesn't look like, from our perspective, they're going to try to defend it.
Yeah, they are just taking the 1-for-1 trade at the moment. Of course, this is better for the BB team squad. They have a Vessel flying out, which is great against the Caudal Heals. And once you take an early enemy mid-tier 1 tower, I mean, GPK already had all the runes. Now it's even easier. Very, very hard to contest that deep into the river this early on.
Now they group up towards the top for BB team, save level 5. So actually just hits level 6. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Serpent Wars place right here.
Well, to go back to the Roche that you talked about earlier, Undying and Rasa has always been a very good combo. Right, you kind of, Undying wants to take team fights, and Rasa kind of forces you to either take it or give up an objective for free.
Yeah.
So very, very nice support duo.
And Miero going to be going for the Meteor Hammer build, as GPK forcing Y out. Has the Spirit Vessel applied. XM just slowing him up, though, so can't pursue any further.
Yeah, it's not a kill, but look what he's doing on his own. Right, he's pushing back 2 heroes in the mid lane. Y doesn't have any resources. This will mean, again, active rune will be yours, and they're currently looking for a smoke. Looks like Bach has a decent read, but remember that it is daytime. He doesn't really see much.
Yeah, now slowed up a bit. Shackle, not going to hit, but they get the connection, and they're going to get the easy kill. So yet another one for BBT. I mean, the lead is not growing that much in their favor, so that's good news for Vici. It's very, it's not reminiscent of last game at all, which is good.
Well, especially considering that they did lose the double Wisdom Shrine early. They are doing a good job. Jin-Q also now with the Holy Locket completed. Because can never count out a TB, especially a TB Caudal draft. More illusions, less cooldown on the Metamorphosis. So definitely eyes on Shiro and his net worth.
XM working on his Witchblade right now, and for Shiro, which we haven't really talked about too much, has his Yasha working towards the Manta style, so nothing too crazy. And it will be a blink first for Bach, and only a couple hundred out for that.
Okay, that is...
I feel like that is when they need to really imprint something in this game, especially, I mean, Crippling Fear against GPK, that's probably one of the main reasons that they picked the Night Stalker.
No, the blink will be very good. But you do need to get some stuff going with that, because it does hurt your scaling. You're not going some Echo Saber that helps you hit creeps. You're not getting, you know, a Midas that helps you keep scaling. But once they have the blink, they can absolutely look for a couple of moves, maybe with the Witchblade and the Solarbind combo.
Now we're seeing a smoke from Big Brownie team, but you see the blink now picked up from Bach. See if he can put that to good work. It's GPK leading the way.
It's the 40-minute timing again. If Vici are available, I don't think their team fighting is that weak, right? You have heals, you have Dark Ascension.
Y is going to be spotted first. And Dark Ascension used as Bach comes in with a Crippling Fear, looking to finish off Y. They're going to be close as GPK looking to do that. Looks like you'll find it eventually, but they get the Hex, and now they get the Shackle and the Focus Fire. Bach is dead. Searing Chains now on to Shiro, already at half health. We have to play around a bit because of the Sunder potential. So in the end, the support actually did live, but again, Faith Beyond is the one suffering the consequences.
It was good counterplay, right? BB team, they were around already. There's so many people you want to stay on top of here as the Night Stalker. If you're not staying on Miero, he keeps giving them heals or maybe move speed. If you're not staying on Kateomi, there's a Tombstone. You kind of have to follow save as well. But it did look like that was perhaps a bit rushed. They do need Shiro to be around, or at least a Solarbind with XM to dish out any follow-up damage. And this is a big moment on the map. This is like 80 seconds on both Dark Ascension and Meta, where the Boba team can just go ham.
GPK has a Spirit Vessel going for the Mage Slayer next. And I guess we haven't really talked about the items from BB Team too much yet. Kiritich has the Maelstrom, and it'll be the full Mjolnir first from him. I love these players that just queue up like 20 items in their
It's like the good old the Yatoro style.
Yeah.
You just kind of know what you want. You can always just press whatever you want anyway.
And Miero opting for the Lotus as his first main item after this Meteor Hammer. So good reflection for the, well, a lot of spells, I suppose.
Honestly, very good. Like, especially against Solarbind. You can also screw around with the Sunder later, which they definitely may be needing. But Vici still very much holding on nicely when it comes to the game. And I do also like the Largo Wind Ranger combo, you know, out of like a lot of carries. She dishes out a lot of magic damage, which is quite good with Largo as well. Same with move speed. Another hero that uses it very nicely.
Damage room from XM. See how aggressive that they want to be here. I assume that the next item for Bach is going to be the BKB. Indeed, that is the case. But he is just so underfarmed. It is crazy.
Yeah, he is.
You can see Jin Q is just shadowing him in the farm right now.
He is suffering. The only thing is that at least what is good for them is that his 4 is a Caudle. So, you know, the net worth you're kind of lacking, Caudle can make up for it. They're looking for a play around the mid tier 1. We'll find the Observer Ward. And remember also that they are, of course, playing with Night Stalker, so the vision should overall be in their favor.
Bach looking for an opening. Not smoked up, though. Gonna wrap around through the triangle, as GPK would be an incredible kill for them. He's gonna Remnant out before this even becomes an issue.
It's a very good scan, but you can tell that, you know, while the game has felt like that BB are in overall control, Vici are currently finding a pretty good foothold on the map. They were holding the mid lane quite nicely, now a lot of top control, triangle control as well. And of course, anytime they keep scaling, Shiro may soon overtake Kiritich here on the network department.
And Searing Chains into the power shot, more than enough damage for GPK and company. I mean, beatboxing team, again, 8-2 advantage to start this game, but the net worth not like last game. Now, Vici, at the very least, are keeping up in the farm department to some degree, and a lot of it is on the back of Shiro's Terrorblade.
And they're going to use this opening to take out Roche, which then will help them to, of course, furthermore take the map. I want to see how Vici go about this, right? You have Dark Ascension, you have most of your spells ready, and long fights could be quite good for you. Caudle heals, you see everything with your Night Stalker. This is a big moment.
Yeah, smoke's gonna be popped. GPK's gonna run right into them, into the potential. Yes, he's gonna get crippling fear. Bach gonna get help. There's the tombstone to help him out. Kiritich already has the Aegis though. Pops right back out, and GPK's more than fine. Getting slowed up a bit. Kataomi with a nice decay in that flesh golem form as GPK completely resetting. They might just leave Kataomi to his fate, which is the death. But if they get out with everyone else and he just auto spawns thanks to that innate, BB team still relatively happy with this exchange. Vici Gaming just did not have the damage.
They actually got to squeeze in the Roche kill right before the fight started. And same with GPK, even got the Remnant off the small lick out and the Tombstone save. Let's see what Vici can get out of this. Honestly, if they get the mid-tier 1 here as well, they should be quite happy with the overall affair of what happened.
The Illusion's doing quite a bit of damage right now, and looks like they will indeed clean that tower up. So Vici Gaming, evening up the game in terms of net worth. How much damage can the BB team do with this first Aegis of the game? Like, can they apply a lot of pressure, or is this more trying to get farm outside on the map?
Should definitely use this to close out the map a little bit, maybe a tier 2. I would say one of the first things on your list should be the Tormentor. And then also any moments where, you know, it's going to be nighttime on minute 20. If you get the Dark Ascension out of Faith Beyond, of course, it's always going to be a very, very big way and a very big cooldown that you can play around.
Kiritich, oh, the shackle on that too. As XM coming to try to help out, the support has already dropped as Kiritich looking for the secondary in the form of Jin Q. Taking a lot of damage to that Illuminate, does have to be careful, doesn't want to burn this first life of Aegis, might not have a choice though. So XM gets the trade, Hoodwink for Aegis, not the worst.
Absolutely not, they will take that. Jin Q was quite lucky there. Just before this play, he unlocked his level 10 talent with the Blinding Light mischance, which we'll have to see later. It's definitely something Kiritich will have to talk about, because he missed a lot of attacks in this play. It's like an 85% mischance.
Yeah, that's true.
Was a beautiful shackle though. Did have to give up the Aegis, because it kind of looked like initially maybe he just cleans up 2 heroes on his own.
Now the focus fire onto the tier 2. Surely Vici will try to defend this if needed. It is not. Only Mjolnir for Kiritich. And GPK, he does have an Arcane Rune at the moment. Yeah, but the 20-minute mark approaches, so Tormentor on the menu. It looks to be a free one.
While GPK is very strong right now, right, with the Mage Slayer and the Vessel, it's more annoyance rather than high damage. As Caudle always has like a pretty stale and slow mid-game around like the 20 to 30 minute mark. If it's a dragged out fight, you're of course very happy.
Anaconda. Ooh. How would you rate this shard?
I feel like it's okay. It's not that great. but it's you're happy having it. You can get a bit more scale, a bit more gold, push on waves.
50-second cooldown. I didn't realize that. That's pretty long.
I mean, I guess, of course, Kateomi already had his shard.
Yeah. I mean, it was either that or... Who's the third in net worth? Is it Largo?
Probably Largo.
No, it's GPK, actually.
Yeah, honestly, the Ember shard is nice, but even if you don't have the Aghanims yet, it's not that incredible. Okay, 21-minute Wisdom Shrine. Definitely the script that BB are looking for here.
Tombstone already placed. They're ready to go. Kateomi already half HP. Bach is going to jump right on top of the Ember Spirit, but the Lick is there to save him, and now Bach just getting destroyed. And that is way too much damage. They trade the Undying for a Night Stalker. GPK, though, getting pressured by Shiro. Quite a bit of damage. And actually, Remnant's back in, and it's absolutely punished. As Vici Gaming, they get more than 3 kills in this game. Already good sign from them.
No, incredible. Definitely a little bit of a mishap, right? Just going to the wrong Remnant. But also Kateomi, you know, walking in quite aggressively there, drops the Tombstone. But TB, he doesn't care. And I think this is why eventually this can be a very, very good TB game. If you can just hold your ground, like at this point, you're not only going to shred the Tombstone, but look how fast Kateomi dies here.
Yeah, I feel like it was just a matter of time before. I mean, surely teams are watching the replays that BB team participate in, because they're doing the exact same thing every game at the 7, 14, and 21-minute mark, it feels like. And finally punished, and this is a rare mistake from GPK. And as a whole, Bikini Bottom team lose this fight.
Well, very, very important here for Vici to have a small lead now in the game. And I have quite high faith when it comes to their overall course, because Bach, this was a fight right before his BKB. You know, next time around, if that fight happens again, with half HP, he can get his BKB off. And it's not that easy for the BB squad to stand their ground. You know, if Bach goes in, gives vision to everyone, there's a storm zipping, suddenly 5 TB illusions and a meta is running at you. Maybe you save someone with the tomb, but then what? It's not like they committed anything.
Yeah. Good signs from Vici. And the Aegis was burned relatively early into the timer, so there's going to be this kind of awkward silence, if you want to call it that, this awkward period in between. As BKB, who was that just picked it up?
Should be Bach. Right, he's getting it. XM also just finished his, so... And it's, again, it's this type of game where in the mid-game, it matters a lot when you think about it. Who's getting, like, more impactful items? You're getting a double BKB on Bach and XM, whereas if you look at, like, the BB squad, they're getting, like, way more defensive items. Like, obviously, Pi can help you. The next item on GPK is quite far away. Same for Miero. So while BKB can be seen as a defensive item for Night Stalker and Storm, it's what allows them to play so aggressively.
There you have the Lotus now for Miero and the Shard, so crazy combination for him.
I definitely need it. Right now you have multiple Lotuses. You can also croak up not yourself, but also one of your other cores. And you need this influx of magic damage, especially against the Shiro TV.
Feels like the first time in quite a while that we've been casting Breaking Bad team where they have met some resistance, because it has been just snowball after snowball. And Vici definitely figuring something out in between game 1 and 2 here.
Yeah, definitely intrigued to see how the BB squad want to kind of deal with the state of the game. Because while TB is very strong and he will outscale a Wind Ranger, absolutely for sure, we've seen what a Largo and Ember can do. When they have a dragged out fight with Croak of Genius and they're just floating around, there's some catalysts, there's an abundance of magic damage.
Interesting. Radiance for Bach? Potentially, I guess he would use that for a little bit and then turn it into a nullifier, I assume.
You definitely can. Evasion is quite good. I do feel like also there could be other items that are quite nice, maybe even like an AC, but I guess at this point, you can kind of just buy whatever you feel like is necessary. Gonna threaten the tier 2 tower. Looks like BB team don't really want to do too much about this one. And again, it's a TB Kodo, so it's not like you're committing a hefty cooldown.
Yeah.
You just keep putting down the CD, maybe with like a 30 to 40 second downtime if you just keep pumping it in there.
Yeah, things have definitely slowed down a bit, which I think... I actually don't know if that favors Vici, does it? Because this Night Stalker feels like he wants to be active all the time.
As long as they are getting map control, which they are, I don't think they mind at all. He'll be fine. Sure, he's not like high up on the net worth, but again, I think we need to look more at the combo of him and the Kodo, because Jinkyu has quite a lot of net worth in this game. He's got a Lotus, he's got a Holy Locket, now working on the Aghanim Scepter, at least for now. Hold some people more in place, give yourself some more team fight.
He's definitely picked up the slack as...
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one good thing about having a position 4 that can actually farm. Coddle can... We've seen him as core, right? So definitely not outside of the norm.
And we know what Jinkyu can do with farm. One of the goats of the post 4s when it comes to using your network aggressively.
And Scotty online for Shiro. So he is starting to pack a punch finally.
It's like now he's strong and very tanky. And mind you, you know, there's a 20 stick, there's a Coddle behind him, there's anti-team fighting with the Night Stalker where you constantly get all the vision that you want. And I think killing this TV from full to 0 is really not easy for the Radiant draft. You need to stick on that guy for quite a while if you're Kiritich, and until you have a BKB, I don't see how that's going to happen.
Yeah. Still a recipe away for Kiritich.
Will be a pretty early Roshan spawn. So while I think that Shiro is very strong now with the Skadi, rightfully so, right, use the TV with top network, when he gets his next item, which is the MKB against the Wind Ranger, Kiritich has to pay a lot of attention how you play around this TV, because if you walk in, you are dying incredibly fast.
Another tier 2 is going to go the way of Vici Gaming as Bach going to open things up onto the Frogman. Has the Lotus applied, but they have the damage along with XM. Going to get the double Electric Vortex. Matters not. Bach gets the kill. Well, Vici Gaming getting some nice momentum and biting Brontosaurus team. Again, they have not been put in this position very often in this tournament.
No, not really. And now, you know, they're bleeding a little bit on the gold lead. Down 3k gold. You can see also very nice wards overall from Vici on the map. One on the bottom gate, one mid lane ward, and this top lane ward that did spot up Miero on the start of this play. And when you, like, when the map turns into this, it is incredibly annoying to play against this draft, right? There's all the maps are pushed in. If there's one Night Stalker seeing you at nighttime, the storm zips over just like that.
Yeah, more pressure with the illusions. Shiro, Demon Zeal. They're actually going to get another tower going their way, and this is without Roche on their side. Is that every tier 2?
Yep, absolutely.
Vici mounting a comeback after that game number 1 debacle. We can call it nothing less. 5k lead now. Looking quite good.
I feel a lot more comfortable, and I think it is how they beat all the previous teams. 1W and Falcons, they found like a nice draft with vision, overall map play. You have Ghost Push, and then like you abuse it to find a pickup into a team fight. Honestly, all eyes are now on the secondary Roche in this draft. BKB completed on Kiritich, so you have a huge item timing for the Bibbidi Bobbidi squad here. Whereas Vici, if they can delay perhaps until this MKB, I don't think they would mind at all. Of course, it is a little bit away, but you farm incredibly fast.
Yeah, the Radiance is not too far off for Bach. Just the Talisman away. GPK going to run into the illusions of Shiro, remnanting to the high ground. Won't find a target, though.
Not finding much, at least for now.
And looking into the pit, so Bilbo Baggins' team will try to go for this Roche.
I was going to use that one. Sorry about that. I love that one. So they go for the Belch. I don't know if they're going to be around in time, because you definitely want to contest, right? You have Night Stalker, you've got the illusions to scout it out.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Vici smoked
Ascension.
Very close indeed. The zip it from XM, but Kiritich gets the Aegis. Pop the BKB as XM does the same. Trying to create some pressure here. The Shackle onto the Terrorblade. Can he get the Sunder up? No! The Hex is there, and Shiro takes a tumble. And with that, BB team going to try to chase out the rest of Vici. Although now they're actually resetting. Did they get everything? The Aegis and, yeah, they got the Roche banner as well. So everything going the way of BB team.
Oh, they needed that. But this is all, sometimes you have to go for somewhat of the higher risky plays. I think if you're Vici, you're going to be highly kicking yourself that you left the area with so much distance between you and BB team. Like by the time you get close by, they didn't even have vision yet.
So close.
Look at the shackle that's coming up. That is so pretty from Kiritich.
Yeah, that's the scary part of having these illusions next to you. More targets to get a shackle that is potentially game-defining. So BB team punching back in this game number 2. The Hex into the shackle. Focus Fire will finish it. Ernaconda, yeah, that's a sexy snake right there.
All right, Kiritich definitely now, you know, with the Aegis, queuing up a Daedalus, can definitely turn around and kind of change the one-to-one matchup that he has going against Shiro's TB.
Man, they should be able to get Tormentor, so that's going to be Gale Force for Kiritich because everybody else has Shard.
Yeah, honestly, they'll be pretty happy about that. It's just nice, especially against all like the illusions, maybe push some of the people away. So, Vici, this is you should know how you want to fight with a Night Stalker, right? You want to kind of go around, pop the Dark Ascension, and start the fight nicely yourself. You don't really want to be the ones that get pressured first. But I do have to commend BB Team for finding such a moment.
Still in the net worth quite even. Vici Gaming. I mean, the top net worths in the game are basically interchangeable at this point between Kiritich and Shiro. And I assume he's going to have to go MKB at some point. Yeah, in fact, that is the case now.
They will have to wait for it. It's the only way that you can deal with the Wind Ranger.
All right, so Radiance online for Bach. Tell me what this does for him. Obviously, the evasion is nice. It allows him to farm, and then he can take it apart, I assume, at some point for Nullfire, but right now he's going AC.
It's kind of nice to help you, like, scale it a little bit. Like, maybe get through some of this, like, more quiet time, then later up, you know, just end with the Nullifier, like you're saying. So you can go the Radiance AC. I mean, evasion is still quite good, right, against the Radiant Draft, or most importantly, against the Wind Ranger. I don't think any of the other stuff is really that important. But it was a big deal, because Kiritich was about to play potentially into a TV who had an MKB with an Aegis. Now suddenly you get to match the MKB timing with an Aegis of your own and a near full Daedalus.
Trying to maybe poke at that tier 2 tower as we see a smoke coming out from Bearded Beaver team. As Jin Q is going to get run into. Hex.
He's dead.
This will be the death of the old man and the horse.
See if they're going to do anything with this, because in the meantime, Kiritich freely taking the mid tier 2 tower. Might just want to wait out this Aegis. There is the MKB completed for Shiro.
A lull before the storm. It's only 13-6 in terms of the kills, so relatively low kill count. If you're from League of Legends, is like 5 times more kills than you're used to seeing, probably.
I mean, both teams are just playing a lot. There's a lot of respect going on when it comes to how the map is being played. Where can they pick you off? Because Vici, even with this kill deficit, just a very, very even game. Why? With the Glimmer and TP.
And he's out.
I'm a little bit surprised that Vici are not playing with any Force Staffs against the Radiant Draft. You know, trying to squeeze people out of like a shackle or a chains, or just create a little bit of distance between their cores and Kiritich.
Tier 2 tower, but the shackle's actually reflected, but they have the silence onto the Wind Ranger, able to get the Force Staff onto the other side, but they're still pursuing as XM gets life number 1. So you can see Bach taking a ton of damage, going to get healed. Tombstone finally killed off as Kiritich pops the BKB in retreat. The Gale Force doing a pretty good work. Gets some shackle onto the Terror Blade. Do they have the damage? Are they going to be able to clean up Y? GPK gets that kill, but Bach absolutely deletes Kiritich. Gets to the south, into the pit he goes with that ult. And the Terror Blade, unfortunately, was the big kill coming out from BB Team. As Bach looks like he'll eventually be found, so it ends up being a 1-for-3. Carries trade lives, but Vici bled a little bit more.
Well, Boom Boys will definitely take that type of fight, right? Your Aegis, it was expiring anyway in like 30 to 40 seconds, and even with some very clutch heals from Jin Q to keep Bach alive initially. Otherwise, Kiritich would have just maybe gotten out from, you know, scot-free. Had another incredible shackle onto the Shiro TB. And, you know,
he's been getting screwed by his illusions, I'll tell you what.
Now, BB Team, they're finding good fights, and this is while TB is at one of his strongest moments in the game. Like, they're looking here. Of course, they kind of get Kiritich once nearly for free. But even so, he still has the BKB once he respawns. And you can see the damage from Shiro. Like, if Kiritich isn't, you know, careful here, or doesn't even land the shackle on the main hero, he would have died way earlier in this fight.
Yeah, both carries die simultaneously. Good job from Bach to create that extra pressure, but in the end, the fight did technically go the way of BB Team. Aghanim Scepter there for Jin Q. I'm not sure if he had it in that last fight, but
I don't think so. No, we definitely would have seen it.
Yeah, Will-O-Wisp is insanely strong.
Not the 7-minute script.
Yeah, this one's not that important. The Lotus.
Good Lotus.
Onto the Storm, already taking heavy damage. They get the Frog, the Silence on top of him. GPK creating pressure on the high ground onto Y. Meanwhile, XM doing the same for Vici Gaming. Tombstone save, as XM has to use all his mana to retreat. So again, another Shrine likely to go the way as Bach gets Focus fired into the grave. So 2 dead for Vici. And Bleeding Blisters team win another fight, and they're going to likely get this tier 2, in addition to that shrine that Save ended up grabbing for himself.
Even though you know this play is coming, like they just get a correct play going. Shiro didn't have the meta or didn't feel comfortable using it. I think he really wants this BKB before he's fighting. I don't know if I really blame him, right? Like if I'm looking at like the Radiant heroes overall, Ember now has an Aghanim Scepter. He's constantly Croak of Genius. You have an Aghanim Scepter on the Largo as well. A lot of problems to deal with here against the Baoban Terminators. What?
A focus fire and the Arnaconda used to take out the tier 3 bot. Can they get the full set of racks? 20 seconds for Faith Beyond to come back in this game. So it looks like they'll sacrifice it without their Night Stalker. So first lane to BB team. Back in control.
It is a big one. Also, if either team gets their sight on the active runes, there's a damage rune in the top area. And it's also going to be tier 4 item timing. And here is where a lot of illusion matchups can also swing against the magic heroes. If you get a couple of catalysts, you get some timeless enchantments to get some more spell amp your way. Shiro, if anyone on the Dire side looked at the minimap, they know there's an amp rune. Yatoro would be quite disappointed if they will not go here to get it.
Yeah, GPK is going to snag it instead. Yep. Are you surprised that Shiro went for BKB so late?
No, I honestly think his item build was fine. There's a world where maybe you could skip Skadi and then you went for MKB, BKB straight up. I think where their game faltered a lot was the secondary Roche, where they had a 5k gold lead, they leave the area, and the BB squad just kind of got to fully attack them, win the fight, and steal the Aegis. Because I feel like this Aegis could have been his BKB until he completed it. There's the Timeless Conjurer's Catalyst for 1. That's Mr. Miero, who will be very happy about this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is, it's just the type of timing. 35 to 40 minute mark. Nice kite from GPK. Freebie.
Yeah, and Brown briefcase team have been in this position before, and we've seen them with these leads with, and again, we've said it many a time, they do not throw these leads very often. Vici were in the game for quite a while. They still are, but if this next Roche goes the way of BB team, it's going to be really hard to recover for Vici.
Yeah, because you have a Satanic from Kiritich as well.
GPK trying to get the shrine as XM coming in right on top of the Undying. Uses his BKB already as a Will-O-Wisp onto the high ground into the Gale Force. Jin Q now on the run, but he can't go anywhere. Shiro popping the BKB along with the meta, trying to run away, gets focus fire, looking for the Sunder, but it's not to be. Down goes the carry for Vici Gaming as the rest retreat in shame. And that, if it's a fast Roach, which it is, 20 seconds away if they spot it. And this will be a freebie for BB team.
Ooh, it's still 1 minute where Shiro isn't even on the board. BB team, they're just finding the fights that they want. Miro, he's got the double lick talent, just getting Kataomi out of all the pressure, baiting them further in. And I do think that Kiritich got to skip a couple of item timings with some of the fights that they have won. Like earlier, this MKB timing, he matched it with the Daedalus. Now he's got a Satanic. He can stand his ground against Shiro.
And they still had the Serpent Wards. They're going to get the connection onto the Hoodwink as well. Miero gets that kill. They're going to get the tier 3 with the Arnaconda on top. And a second set of barracks going the way of BB team as they are in firm control now. GPK creating some annoyance for Bach and company as Shiro will respawn here shortly. So bustling Barracudas, I think they can just go for Roche.
They absolutely can. I wonder if they would just hold the area maybe a little bit until they know, okay, it's free, now we can go for it. Obviously, they kill Roche incredibly fast. Yep, there you go. Get some Flesh Golem. Because they're just getting baited in like way too far. Like even like this full Aghanim Scepter that Jin Q has doesn't get to use it.
Everyone has BKB there. He cannot sunder anything. Just such a hard position to be in for Shiro. As we see Kiritich get yet another Aegis, they're going to have the Refresher Shard, Cheese, and Roche Banner. All the goodies. Maybe the most valuable Roche in the game, this third one.
Oh, definitely. It's got the Cheese. You have a banner with the 40-minute waves if you want. I mean, you have only 1 lane left to go. Do you really have to wait for anything here? If you're the BB squad, I don't know if you're close to any items. You know, GPK has got a couple K gold. Can maybe buy out a full item onto Kataomi on the Undying if you want. It's close to the Lotus.
Octarine Core being built for Miero. I mean, let's see if they're waiting for anything specific. I mean, he's pretty damn close to the Octarine, so they probably wait for that. 3.4K for GPK right now as Kiritich can go for a blink. As they're going to be able to take yet another Tormy. This one is only gold, though.
This is where, if you're Vici Gaming, you're going to have to come up with the plan and how you take the fight. Because this next fight could be the last one of this entire game. They have only one last lane to go for. Could see a world where you want to smoke up, go from the back line, you know, use the Night Stalker ult, maybe get some eyes on the Shadow Shaman, and also on the Kataomi Undying, who's incredibly annoying. He's got a Ghost Scepter as well. So that gets popped. Could even be the reason why he stays alive.
And now the smoke coming out for BB. Octarine officially picked up, as we talked about. Miero super strong on the Frogman.
4K HP with the G's, Octarine core.
Now Kiritich actually opting for the Aghanim Scepter, so yet another power spike for BB team.
Why not?
Put the Roach Banner down, and now the Focus Fire. This is where Vici have to stand their ground. Serpent Wards placed, as well as the Illusions try to make quick work of it. Already the Tier 3 tower is dead, though. Vici have to make something work. The Will-O-Wisp is just going to be cleaned up very easily, as Shiro just getting controlled from the back line. They're going to pop that fortification. Now a soft reset from BB team.
Already
Slight
used
assist
this
from
glyph.
GPK. And that's likely the last glyph they're going to have this entire game. They don't try to defend here. They get the range barracks. The melee racks is now being focused. There's the Night Stalker ult. As now Kiritich is focus firing. They're going to get mega creeps. Not even defended at all.
Just indecisiveness. I think they were maybe hoping to wait for this Daedalus on Shiro, but yet now, well, you will have to play into Megas. There's no way around it.
That is shocking that they did not try to defend that. Felt like they were going to go once Bach popped that ultimate.
Just didn't really find a connection.
And with that, BB team can just wait for the mega creeps to show up in their base, or they can just go for a snipe.
Well, it's daytime without Night Stalker ult. This is very easy.
Why? You're dead. Zip in. Not a whole lot of damage to work with. They don't have any backup. They're going to buy back onto the Hoodwink as XM now getting focused by Kiritich. Will have to zip away. Very little mana to work with, as GPK was forced to use his BKB and retreats. Going to pop the cheese back to full HP. The mega creeps haven't quite made it to the base yet, as the Urnaconda is going to be placed in between the Tier 4 towers. Big zip to try to kill off the creeps to create some backdoor protection, but again, it's mega creeps coming.
And this is a Largo stream. You just stay behind your carry, you buff him up, you allow Kiritich to just keep shooting away. And he has not been missing this game at all on the Wind Ranger, whether it's the power shots, right clicks, or the shackles.
Looks like they're going to retreat for the time being. No mana on the Largo right now. I mean, they still have a minute on Aegis, so likely to just get some mana and get right back into the fray.
Well, let's see if Vici can come up with a better plan than what they had in the last fight, because I don't really know if there was that much of a plan. Perhaps, you know, there's a lot of pressure going on. You're 18k down, now you're playing into Megas. But at some point, you will have to come up with something.
I mean, they have gotten 10 total kills in this series. That's crazy.
And they had quite, like, their kill score wasn't that bad, like, early on, right? Again, it's been a very quiet, like, 10 to 15 minutes here. As if you look at Bugs Bunny scorelines, 0-0-13 on save, hasn't even died a single time on the roster.
Yeah.
He hasn't died a single time in a series.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's against a Night Stalker Storm lineup.
Yeah. That's a yikes. As Vici, their last defense, but the focus fire now applied. As Save with a BKB is going to get the full shackle onto Shiro. Controlled up and killed off. 80 seconds down and out. No way to get back in with a buyback, as they're just going to call it. GG's come out as BB team absolutely destroy and dismantle Vici Gaming as they head to the grand finals.
These guys are looking very good, right? You see them in game one, kind of stomping, not giving up anything. Then this game, quite different. Vici look good. They look good throughout the entire tournament. Today, maybe not as much, but even in this game, they had a good lead. It was all about that second rotation. And I think this is the important and good things from BB team. It doesn't matter if they're ahead or behind. They kind of know how to just execute their game plan.
Yeah, it was a lot closer, at least through the mid-game this time for Vici Gaming. But Burger Belchers, they just came out swinging so hard after that mid-game. GPK ends the game 9-3. Kiritich I mean, I love this Windrunner pick. Usually I'm kind of iffy with it, but against the Terrorblade, it looks really, really good. I mean, Shiro ends the game 0-4. That's crazy. He's so farmed this game, too.
Honestly, they had some timings that they just didn't get to execute together. And sometimes it's hard to tell from, like, you know, it's easy for us. We have, like, the full vision. But what is it exactly that BB Team is doing that is making it so hard to execute? Like, when on the second Roche, they get to squeeze in this early fight, and you just see that Vici are a little bit late. I do really think that's where they dropped this game. But yeah, Kiritich on his Wind Ranger, insane performance. And kind of all around, everyone just playing their heart out.
Yeah, and Save. Again, just to reiterate, in a two games played, he died 0 times on a support. That is absurd. Actually absurd.
At the end, he even gets like a game-winning full duration shackle on the enemy hard carry.
It was a BKB letting him channel that, and when you get to that point with Rasta, it is very hard to deal with.
Still, overall, I think Vici should be quite happy with the overall performance, right? It's leading up to TI. You're doing very good. You're getting top 4 at a major tournament, maybe even 3rd place, potentially tomorrow. So definitely nothing to be too unhappy about with the overall performance.
Yeah, these shackles, though, using the illusions against Shiro, that was, felt like 2 or 3 deaths, like pivotal deaths as well throughout the game for him. As we see the last shackle coming out from Save is BB Team absolutely destroying. Let's go to the stage for an interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I please introduce you to our first grand finalist. Here we go. Give it up for Kiritich and BB Team. What an absolute honor and pleasure to see you guys just have a clinic that series. Extremely impressive. Did you know, fun fact, you have only lost games this tournament on Rangers. 1 Drow Ranger, 1 Wind Ranger, yet you pick it in game 2. What was that dedication like? How did you know you were going to win with the world's best Wind Ranger? You.
I don't know. Vitaly trusts me. He coached me how to play Wind Ranger, how to shackle, how to use power shot. That's it.
All right, fair enough. Your support did not die that entire series. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. How does the support not die? That's their job, if you will. What is going on with Mr. Save?
He's super prime.
Super Save Prime, I can take that. In an interview earlier this year, you stated that you did not know how painful it would be to be 2nd place. You are in another final, and I gotta tell you, before you joined the team, BB Team was kind of known for choking in moments like this. Not any longer. Now you've been a champion. Are you ready for this grand final? Do you think that there is even a slight chance you might go through that pain of 2nd place?
Of course, we're ready to destroy them.
That's what I like to hear. They're ready to destroy whoever dares to be on that stage. But I have to ask you, who do you think is going to be on that stage along there with you?
What?
Who will be fighting you in the grand finals?
To be honest, PV and Yannick's team, very good team. They're very strong. It's, for me, 50-50 matchup. To be honest, I don't know. It's just coin flip. My coin flip, it's Yandex.
All right. But either way, you're going to crush whoever comes, right?
Of course, of course.
Okay, and last question for you. You have spoken so much this year about your personal dedication, you know, gymming every day, practicing every day, the slow increase. Do you have too much left to prove? Do you have to win this one? Or is it just another way down your path?
It's another way, just casual day of my life.
Damn, all right, a casual winner, fantastic. Well, let's get some casual teammates up here. Gentlemen, please join us. You do know what time it is here at EWC. You don't just beat your opponents, you crush them, baby. And one of you has to crush. Let's get that crusher ready. Open those doors. And who is gonna be my crusher here today? I need one of you to elect. Okay, Miero wants it. Gentlemen, to the key crusher, my friends. Not only do you crush a key, you crush an entire region here today. They are going down. Say goodnight to Chinese Dota. Not as back as we thought. Goodbye, brothers. Here we go. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, that was a blow. Oh, my God. That one blowed the hell up. That's what I like to see. All right, my friend, excellent crush. Let us take a look at the key and see if it lives up to your standards. I gotta be real, I don't think we could crush that key to represent how much you crushed them in that series. Take a look, sir. Examine. Is it crushed enough?
Fine, yes.
That is fine, but they're ready to crush whoever goes to that grand finals coming up tomorrow. Let's head to the panel and see what they think about that series.
A fine crushing was done by BB Team against Vici Gaming. It was a closer game, game 2.